the hell are you doing? We got a podcast to record.
Oh, Mario. I'm just getting a massage.
Okay.
Oh, you go ahead to the studio. I'll meet you over there in a few minutes.
Okay. Whatever you say. Never seen a massage like that before.
A little lower, darling.
Get up! Mario Lima, you old dog.
Connery curious. Saga, Last Crusade, You Only Live Twice, and the Anderson tapes. Murder on the Orient Express. You never know what the wheel's gonna spin next. Marty and a woman of straw. An older man in Africa. We are curious of the filmography of Sir Sean Connery.
Mario Lima,
Dylan Titus.
how you doing today?
I'm doing great. We're finally here. Our third.
Episode number 3 in
In
the
the-
Proving
in
Ground,
the Proving
but
Ground.
episode number 055.
055. Wow.
Yeah, 55 episodes.
55.
Folks, we apologize for the delay on all of these episodes, but as you can see, we've had some work to put in to really
A lot of cool stuff going
bring
on.
them up to snuff.
Yes, and
So,
snuffy indeed. We got some nice
Snuffleupagus.
stuff. Yeah, we're killing it today. We had a lot of work here done today, but we're here now, and we're here to talk about, the last Bond film.
Sean Connery's last Bond film, our last Bond film. We've got 20-odd films left with no James Bond.
Ah, so weird.
Yeah.
So weird to think about that. But I think it's a great time for it. You know, it's like what a journey this has been to go through all of these movies. And this was one I think we were both dreading, but also very excited for, I think. We're both kind of there with these films. But I think after today's discussion, we'll see if our thoughts have changed on this film at all. And we're going to be doing a lot of comparing to last week's episode, Thunderball, because this is Never Say Never Again, the sort of remake of Thunderball.
Yeah. So episode 55, Never Say Never Again. 1983's Never Say Never Again.
All right, so...
Shot at the same time as sort of The Valiant.
Which is all I could think about watching this movie. I'm thinking this dude took his tuxedo off and put the green makeup on. I was like looking for like glitter in his hair, like from the other shoot or something. Yeah, we'll get into it. I have a lot of comments to make about Connery himself in this, but we'll get to it. So, shall we just get to
let's just dive right in, I guess.
the whole thing, trailer voice and
Connery
all that?
does, like James Bond does in the Bahamas. Let's just dive right in.
Diving in.
Do the trailer voice. Let's find a good trailer. Do you want to do the Rotten Tomatoes like you normally do?
Yeah, we haven't done the tomatoes in a bit, I feel.
Okay. Here we go.
Oh, right. Okay.
Wow, what a disparity.
So going over to RottenTomatoes.com, tomato meter for Never Say Never Again was at a whopping 71%, but the audience disagreed with that score and gave it a 37%. Now, I am also curious, since we didn't do it last week, what's the Thunderball rating?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that one is sort of beloved, but at the same time, maybe not. So Thunderball sits with the tomato meter at 85%, certified fresh, and a audience score of 73%. So very, very loved, which I thought was... I don't know, I feel like I hear a lot of Bond fans. Let us know in the comments as well your thoughts on Thunderball, which I'm sure you did last week. But I feel like people don't highly regard this film, but at the same time kind of do. So interesting that it's that high.
Thunderball. at least.
It's talking about Thunderball. Yeah, I would have thought it was lower, so I'm very happy that's a 73% because I agree with that score very much.
Yeah, I think the Never Say Never Again score is apt. It's got a 6.1 on IMDb. All right, here's a good trailer voice. We'll do that.
A Spectre agent has stolen 2 American nuclear warheads, and James Bond must find their targets before they are detonated.
Very good.
Thanks.
Very good.
Should we, proceed the way we normally do?
Yeah, I think let's go. We got a good, healthy amount of paragraphs here in the wiki.
We failed to mention, by not diving into the wiki, that this is the second collaboration between Sean Connery and director Irvin Kershner.
Ah, drama.
Exactly. We saw A Fine Madness a long time ago at this point.
Oh my, yeah, it feels like years ago at this point. Jeez.
Oh, probably over a year at this point.
Yeah, at least, right? Wow.
Of the 2 Sean Connery, Irvin Kershner films that we've watched, which one do you prefer?
Oh man.
And are either of them good?
I don't know. They're both at different films. You know, you're going against a more comedic Connery versus a knockoff James Bond. You know, so it's kind of a weird toss-up between those two. I don't know. I think I watched Never Say Never Again over Fine Madness if I was to give them the choice. I think that's where I would lean. How about you?
I think I like A Fine Madness a little bit more than this.
Okay.
And I don't know if you recall, but last week I had said in my rewatch of the Bond franchise as an adult that this is staying in. Whatever. That in my rewatch of the Bond franchise as an adult, that I was, for some reason, excited to watch Never Say Never Again. We'll get into it. We'll get into how I feel.
All right.
So yeah, I think I may prefer A Fine Madness over Never Say Never Again.
Interesting. Okay.
Personally.
All right. I think we liked Fine.
I liked A Fine Madness.
I said we both.
It wasn't a good
enjoyed
movie.
that. Yeah, but I think we both kind of enjoyed aspects of it.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
there was stuff to enjoy there for sure.
Yeah, and I think there's stuff to enjoy here too, which we'll get into when we start diving into the
Yes,
flyer.
there's things to enjoy in this movie.
Again, I'm going to be doing a lot of comparisons. My notes are a lot of Thunderball comparisons and all that, but I also did try to sit back and enjoy this as a film. So yeah, shall we get into the plot?
Let's get into the plot.
All right.
After MI6 agent James Bond fails a route.
Hey, shut up over there. We're doing a podcast, for God's sakes.
After MI6 agent James Bond fails a routine training exercise, his superior, M, orders him to a health clinic outside London to get back into shape. While there, Bond witnesses nurse Fatima Blush give a sadomasochistic beating to a patient in a nearby room. The man's face is bandaged, and after Blush finishes her beating, he uses a machine which scans his eye. Bond is spotted by Blush, who sends assassin Lippe to kill him in the clinic gym. Bond kills Lippe in a fight which destroys a lot of the clinic's furniture and equipment. M is forced to pay for the resulting damages and consequently suspends Bond from active duty.
Woo.
Should we go from there?
Yeah.
Okay. I've got notes, my friend.
Me too, brother.
Cool. Some of them are here in this notebook. Some of them are here in this notes app. My first note is we first see what could be Sean Connery at 1 minute and 9 seconds, but we definitively see him at 1 minute and 23.
Okay.
How about you? Did you get anything else?
No, but I feel like mentally I said it was around like 111 or something like that. So that sounds about right. That's why I went with as well.
I also, before we even get into the movie, I'm sorry. My first note is this is the ugliest DVD menu I've ever seen. Cut a picture of that in. Good Lord.
I was lucky enough to watch it on Max.
Yeah?
So it looked good on Max, pretty good.
Oh, cool.
So 'cause I was like, I had DVD somewhere, but I was like, I didn't feel like digging for it. I was like, it's got to be somewhere, and it was on Max of all places. So if you're watching this at home and check Max, you never know. So, they always put
Maximilian Largo?
Max. Oh, maybe he bought out HBO. But anyways,
Maybe
yeah.
I will buy HBO.
But I do remember the DVD menu being very ugly.
Quite ugly. It's that Tears of Allah set at the end, and it just looks so very unpleasant.
Weird side note. I've been very into PS1 as of late. Right now, I have my PlayStation Vita. I've been playing a lot of PS1 classics on it, and I played Tomorrow Never Dies. And it reminded me the pause menu and like the sort of computer that you see in like cutscenes. That's the DVD menu from the Tomorrow Never Dies DVD. That's my favorite Bond DVD menu. If you ever have a copy of Tomorrow Never Dies, find it.
Not the Blu-ray.
The old DVD has the best fucking menu, in my opinion. One of the best menus. So for ranking DVD menus for Bond movies.
I really like the Quantum of Solace DVD menu.
That's a nice one, too.
That is the screen display.
I appreciate what they did with the collection. Like, everyone has that certain... It has this Bond theme. And it shows, like, clips and 007.
And the Quantum of Solace one is different.
Yeah, that's the only one that's really different, yeah. So, I appreciate those, but can you bring back cool DVD menu screens, man?
Yeah, I really don't like the Bond Bond Blu-ray collection, that 50th anniversary collection, or
40th, I believe.
No, 50th.
Is it
It's got
50th?
Skyfall and Spectre. The collection I have goes up
The
to
white
Spectre.
one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it does go to Spectre. You're correct.
And it's just they're all so bland looking.
yeah, I mean,
It's
they're
just
like
that one that's
they're like, let's get into the movie, I guess. But
it's just, those, like that. It's the shape that's the downward scoop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's DVD menus are a dead art. Like, we just don't do it anymore because we don't buy physical media anymore. But I do.
I like
do
my physical
miss
media.
it. Yeah, like there's if it's a band I like coming out with a new record and have like their stuff on vinyl, I'm like, sure, let me get that. Like I like good physical media, but unfortunately, dead art. But still, keep those DVDs, man. Enjoy nostalgia. For God's sakes. But anyways.
Anyway, so what else we got? Phone notes. Okay. Frisbee? Question mark.
Yeah, what's a training exercise?
Distraction.
Like it makes a bird noise, but really the guards are like, "Oh, he must
Follow
be
that
there.
frisbee.
It's a bird. Kill that bird."
Also, following the frisbee is not indicative of where the person is. You want to go from where the frisbee was thrown.
Yeah, right.
It's like, there, go grab it, chase it. It's like, why? Why would you? Anyway, so you go ahead and do your notes.
So I didn't really talk much about the intro scene in my notes, but I will talk about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
It is fun to see, Connery in action, playing the Never Say Never Again theme song, which I noticed two versions. One was unused and one was used.
It's not versions. They're different songs.
Well, different songs.
Yeah,
yes.
just same title.
But yeah,
They're completely different songs. One's a very good song, and one is an okay song.
I really like this. This one it's an earworm.
Never say never.
I like that intro. Boom, da, 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 da. But I really wish they would just. I understand the rights were kind of not there because, like, in theory, this is not a James Bond movie, but it is. But they didn't do the gun barrel, and it just kind of starts with Connery running there, and they're playing the theme through the whole situation. And which is it's cool, I suppose. I like how the song ends. Da, 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 da. He has that little grenade, and then he throws it, and that's the last note. Yeah. I appreciate that, but then there's dead silence, and there's like I would have loved a little bit of music, but of course they don't have the rights to like those John Barry scores really, and there are cuts out there. What's the cut you showed me?
Never Say McClory Again.
Yeah, McClory. If you find the McClory cut, it does a halfway decent job of like taking music from past Bond films, both newer and older. The newer stuff takes me out of it a little bit, but they do like the 007, the Bond steals the Lecter, and it works great. But it's a little different here. There's no classic Bond theme. So,
well, do we want to get into that? We were talking about it earlier.
What's that?
I sent you a clip last night.
Yeah, so Dylan sent me a clip. It's later in the movie, which we'll get to in our notes.
I'm going to link to that video. I put it as a separate video on our page.
Oh, cool.
So that video won't get monetized because of its use of music. I don't want this video to potentially get demonetized. So go click on that video to see a rescore of a scene from Never Say Never Again. Yeah. A scene which has no music in it.
Yeah, and it makes it makes the movie it makes that scene way more powerful. Mm-hmm. It makes it way more. There's emotion to it. There's true emotion to it, and as well as that cut of the McClory cut as well. It does a good job. Some of the music takes me out of it. Like
it's got a very poor choice of opening and closing themes.
Yeah, and when we see the ship for the first time, it's not the Disco Volante. It's the what do they call the ship in this
flying
movie?
Saucer.
The flying saucer.
Well, that's what that means. That's Disco Volante's flying saucer.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
You learn something every day over there.
Well, I've got a note on that. Mario, I got a big piece of trivia for you here.
Okay.
That yacht, in real life, was owned by what confirmed rapist?
The Don? Trump owned that boat?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That's wild.
Yeah.
What if he was...
He's a Bond villain.
He is Goldfinger.
I'm sorry, real quick. Just a quick aside. I saw a truck driving with a Punisher skull.
Okay.
The Punisher skull was striped red, white, and blue.
Okay.
And it had Trump's golden hair on it.
That is kind of funny.
But what that person fails to realize is that Frank Castle would not have allowed a man like Donald Trump to continue living. Right?
Yeah.
Frank Castle's family was killed in the crossfire of a mob shootout. Donald Trump is a mobster. Pretty much right after that Access Hollywood tape came out, he would have been disposed of. Frank Castle would have come in and said, grab you by your pussy and rip his dick off and feed it to him.
I want to see that Punisher.
Me too.
I want to see that.
I hope you guys know which way we lean on this podcast.
I'm leaning this way. Sometimes I lean this way.
Well, I'll lean more towards this way.
I lean this way sometimes too.
Yeah, stretch it back a bit. Anyway. So that was my note on. I have that written down. Confirmed rapist's yacht.
Crazy.
Because they confirmed that he did. I mean, we all knew he did, but they confirmed it in a court of law. A jury of his peers. Well, granted, no one's as big of a scumbag as he, but so he's peerless in that regard. But a jury of his peers found that to be true.
That he owned that yacht.
Yes. Anyway, that's staying in the podcast, folks. Come at me. All right. Go ahead. What else you got, Bot?
Let's
Bod?
see. Bot?
Did you just call me Blob?
I just watched that the other night.
So that actor plays the villain in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. That's I was like, that was one of the reasons I watched it, because I was thinking of him. Because I'm probably gonna go see it next week, hopefully. But yeah, I was thinking of that, and I've been kind of on an X-Men kick because of '97, and I was like, let me rewatch all the movies to prep for Deadpool and Wolverine,
I've been down to rewatch
And-
Origins for a while.
and it's not that bad.
It's so fun.
It's not
I had
that
a blast with it in
bad.
theaters. I got the tickets to it when I was in school in this building.
Really?
Yeah, the room downstairs.
I went to the fucking
I
theater,
was-
man. You see, there's a lot of good shit in there. Like you see him get the adamantium injected in him. You see all
that movie is
shit.
just a goofy comic book movie turned up to 11, and I love it.
Yeah, it just I understand.
not good.
It's the Deadpool shit at the end and all that and all blah blah and like Cyclops and that really weird looking young Professor X. But anyways, that's a whole other podcast for us there.
Same summer as Iron Man and The Dark Knight. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, what a weird time to be alive.
Yeah. What a trifecta of superhero films that came out.
So yeah, getting out of the main scenario there, we see him heading to another facility. When he shows up in, I believe it's a Rolls Royce.
It's a Bentley
It is the Bentley.
from the books.
So the Bentley,
'Cause
which
they couldn't use the Aston Martin.
yeah, I appreciate it, but like man, a part of me
That
was
Bentley
like,
is gorgeous.
I wish it was the fucking DB5.
That
man,
Bentley
but-
is beautiful.
My word, they don't make them like this anymore.
Right. It's still in pretty good shape.
This way, sir.
My first Thunderball comparison,
Yeah, we'll be making some.
and plenty of them.
Plenty of tool.
This was a way cooler, in my opinion, hidden door to the Spectre meeting room.
I agree.
I like this better. Two key little gimmick opening up
And the bars coming from.
yeah, I like that way. And she had to scan her. She had to turn around, scan.
And it's just an ominous
Yeah.
light. Excuse me.
And it reminds me of Harry Potter. It's like, vault number 66,
Right?
good to go.
She goes down into like a stone cave, essentially hallway.
And to go grab grab one of like the Horcruxes or something. She's like a Harry Potter. She's like
Fatima
Bellatrix.
Blush. Yeah, oh, for sure, yes.
She's so evil. She reminds me
Evil.
she reminds me a lot different Bond movie, but kind of like Xenia on the top.
Yes.
Kind of,
I feel like Xenia Onatop's character pulled from her a little bit.
Yeah, just very, very. She's tough, sexy, and scary at the same time, and uses sex
Terrifying.
to kill. She's like a praying mantis, or
So when I was younger, and again first got back into the Bond films, I thought she was very sexy, and she is very sexy. But this time, I just found her terrifying. I just found her so terrifying that it just wasn't that sexy anymore. You know,
I think-
not to say she wasn't sexy. I just didn't find her sexy.
I still found her. I mean, I'm gonna be real with you and the Connery Curious audience. I'm kind of into like getting the shit beaten out of me. You know what I mean? She's sexy on the boat. When she's on the
Lee,
boat.
do you beat up my boy here?
Sometimes. Love her, baby. She doesn't listen to this podcast. It's fine.
Not even
But
when
yeah,
she was on.
I just like that she's like, she's very like scared, and that's why I like Xenia on the top too.
And I'm
like,
not knocking that. I'm not knocking that because I'll take some of that here and there.
She is scary, yeah.
I think it's like, now write that I was the greatest rapture of your life. Like, whoa. But she really is in the movie. I'd forgive she's nuts.
Oh, yeah.
She's like
And
truly
it's-
nuts. Where Fiona Volpe in the last movie is sexy and dangerous. Fatima Blush is sexy and dangerous and nuts.
Oh yeah.
She's nuts.
Yeah, if I had to deal with if I had to deal with both, like I told you, the last movie, I was in love with her. I love
Fiona
redheads.
Volpe is-
Fiona's gorgeous, drop dead gorgeous. They both are.
Of the
but-
two, it's the same character.
yeah.
Which portrayal do you prefer? I'll take Fiona Volpe all day
yeah,
over Fatima Blush. As fun as Fatima Blush is.
when it comes to crushing on him, Fiona for sure. Fiona or Fatima? Did I say her name wrong?
Fiona is Thunderball.
Fiona. Okay, I'm gonna get them all messed up now. Yeah, her. I'm totally into her. I like the whole, because she was like scary. I mean, she's less scary because it's like Blush didn't need like all the cronies with her, like she
Yeah.
would deal with shit by herself. The whole thing with the snake and flipping the car over and like
I've got a note on that.
and all that on a car crash.
Yeah. We haven't gotten to it in the part here,
we'll
but
get
I'll
there.
just cover it now if I can.
Yeah, hit it.
Snake crash rake stash is what I wrote.
Rake stash?
Yeah, snake crash rake stash. So she takes the snake and throws it into the car, and he's like, ah, and drives off. But as he flies off of the ramp, in the foreground of the shot are just a bunch of rakes.
It's a rake factory.
Rake stash. Snake crash rake stash. Snake crash rake stash. Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, that was like very intense because I was like, you kind of expect the snake to come back in another thing. Like that's her thing. She like throws a snake on him or something like that. It's another Harry Potter reference, like Nagini. But like, it's one of those things where like you could have just like drove him off the road. You could have just like
And then
shot
she
him in
blows
the
it
head.
up too.
Yeah, like overkill, like crazy. 'Cause that's the thing. And
then she pours water on it.
Because I'm thinking like, oh, she didn't like shoot him in the head because it needs to look like an accident. And you may look like an accident, fine, but then you went above and beyond and you completely disintegrated the guy.
Yeah.
So like, it's just a little too much. And you put that poor snake in danger. Like, come on. Like, it was a little too much. But like,
Which I don't think
get
that's a deadly snake. Right in, folks. Is that a deadly snake? I don't think it is.
I don't know if it's that.
It would scare the shit out of me if I was
'cause
driving.
my
for sure.
a friend of mine had the same kind of snake, and I remember I was sitting like on his couch one time, and he slowly put it on my lap, and I was like, it's like, don't worry, it's not dangerous.
Don't worry, let it suck your dick.
But I think snakes are cool, but I don't need to touch one.
I'm also all set with snakes.
Yeah, just like they're cool, but like, no thanks. So yeah, I thought that was a little overdone, but yeah. But my original thing was yes, the entrance into the Spectre lair. I enjoy that way better than like that Largo's really weird controller that didn't even look like it looked like a broken Game Boy. Like remember that controller from Thunderball that he used to like open the door in Thunderball?
Oh yeah.
It was like really weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, this one's like simple. It's just like 2 keys.
There's some stuff that this does a little bit classier.
Yeah, way cool.
But also maybe not classier, but just like simplified.
Yeah, just less insane and like more. I don't know.
But also more insane. I think this film is more insane than Thunderball.
Oh yeah, we're gonna.
It's just tamer. Like it's insanity. It's like a quiet insane person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and more like they. My next note is first of all Blofeld, played by I forget
Max
his name.
von Sydow.
I know him from Force Awakens.
Just
He's
the opening scene. Of
right in
Force
the beginning,
Awakens,
he's just like to me, she's royalty.
What else has he been in that we may have
Sure,
seen?
he's been in a bunch, but I just recognize his face from that automatically when I see that.
I do like him as Blofeld. What do you think of him as Blofeld?
Yeah, I think he was like a really classy Blofeld. We didn't do the whole thing where we had to cover half of his face. We just showed him the whole time.
Flash Gordon.
The Emperor Ming. Oh yeah.
Minority Report.
Force
He's a 3-eyed raven in Game of Thrones. Yes.
Yeah, and they put him in Star Wars Force Awakens, the Lego version as well. And he's The Simpsons. He's Klaus Ziegler. Letters.
He's in Skyrim. Wow.
Oh yeah.
As Esbern.
You hear him all over that.
In the Russell Crowe Robin Hood. What else we got? Shutter Island, The Wolfman. Director's cut.
He's in Rush Hour 3.
The Ghostbusters video game. Huh. I really want to see Minority Report. Nicole and I have made a stack of DVDs that we like go through randomly, and Minority Report is in that. And
Okay.
really want to. Really can't wait to watch that.
But yeah, him as Blofeld was really fun. To rank him in the Blofelds, I put him pretty high. Like I liked him as Blofeld. Very simple. I love his little skull webcam.
Skull cam.
I kind of want to get that 3D printed to put on my webcam. I mean, it opens up. Like I thought that was really dope.
If I may ask, I'm sure we've done this before, but let's rank the Blofelds.
Oh yeah, okay.
Savalas for me is number 1.
Yeah.
Or should we go worst to best?
Yeah, who worst?
Worst. Who's your worst?
Worst. probably. What's the one from the Roger Moore one where he's in a wheelchair?
Mr. Bond.
Mr. Bond, no.
I'll buy
Mr.
you a delicatessen in
Yeah.
stainless steel.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one just.
that's my least favorite too.
I mean,
and then it's
that
Charles
was-
Gray.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I forget all their names, but I'll just say like my top three for
Okay,
sure.
all right, yeah, let's
is
do
like,
top three.
I just have a soft spot for Diamonds Are Forever. Blofeld.
Charles Gray.
Charles Gray's tremendous.
He's your top.
Yeah, I just think he's just goofy. I love how goofy it is.
He's my bottom.
It's like oh,
Oh yeah, fuck Charles Gray.
he's a great power bottom. And I also have. I mean, you got to give it to.
You gotta give it to him. He's a
Yeah,
power
you gotta
bottom.
give it to him. But you gotta give it to You Only Live Twice, Blofeld. What's his name?
Donald Pleasance.
Pleasance. He's probably the real number one, honestly. But
The
like
real number one.
he's the real number one. So yeah, he's up there. I like Savalas. And I think what's his face from Christoph Waltz? Very good Blofeld, just not the best writing in the world. And don't give me the gold members treatment. Like, I would have loved to see it if they were to do a new Bond and have him take another crack at a new Blofeld again. I think it'd be tremendous. So
You know who
I
would have been
still.
a great Blofeld?
What's that?
You know who would have been a great Blofeld?
Who's that?
I forget the actor's name. Who played Dominic Green in Quantum of Solace?
Oh,
He would have been a great Blofeld.
yeah, that could have been interesting. Yeah.
Anyway,
Sure, yeah.
But my top three are Savalas, Von Sydow, excuse me, and Pleasance.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let us know in the comments what's your
Yeah, top three Blofelds.
top three Blofelds.
Or rank them all.
Rank,
Whatever you-
yeah,
whatever
who
you feel.
cares? Rank them all.
All right, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What else you got?
My last note, speaking of Blofeld, in the meeting scene, I said Phil Collins appears. We get to see our new Largo,
Yes.
who looks just like Phil Collins, in my opinion.
in that
Yeah,
shot.
like he has the sunglasses on. He looks like I wanted like the ringtone to be doo 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 doo, and then it opens up and he's there.
I can hear him calling in the air tonight.
Yeah, I love his accent in this. I think my second comparison. I think Thunderball Largo is great, but I don't know. I feel like this one's a little more charismatic, and you kind of like him. In my opinion, you kind of like him in the beginning. Like, oh, he seems like a nice, happy-go-lucky guy. He seems to treat Domino nicely, but then we find out he's a true villain. And what he's really doing here, like, he's a little more likable, in my opinion, because especially with the Thunderball angle was like, it's like him and Domino are like, kind of like uncle and niece.
Yeah.
Not really, but like they sold it that way, and the age difference looks very different. They look like they could be a couple here, Never Say
Yeah.
Never Again, with what's her name?
Kim Basinger.
Yeah, every time I think of her from Wayne's World with Garth. Remember, she's like, "Take me,
Wayne's
Garth."
World 2?
Wayne's World 2, yeah.
Yeah, I think of her from '89 Batman.
Oh, that too. Yeah, of course. But yeah, just she's the best. She's the best.
I don't like her in this movie.
Yeah, she's not like tremendous in this, but like certain things.
I think this was one of her first big acting roles.
You think so? Yeah.
I think so.
You know whose first movie this was as well?
Rowan Atkinson.
Was Rowan Atkinson's very first movie. Imagine that, again, to act with Sean Connery in
Bean.
a Bond movie.
Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
James Bean.
And then being Johnny English.
Yeah.
He later became his own version of James Bond.
He should have been Q in this movie, but
That would've been
we'll get into the Q scene
Oh,
because
yeah, Q.
Q is one of my-
see you, Mr. Bond.
I really like Q in this movie. We'll get into it. All right, what else you got on
That's
our
all-
opening here?
That's all I have for the Spectre thing, because then they were moving into the hospital stuff, the almost nursing home, if you will. If this feels more like a nursing home than the first clinic felt like in Thunderball.
Yes, yes,
Especially
it really
when
did.
especially later on, we see a bunch of old people like watching TV at some
Yeah.
point.
Before we get into Shrublands, I do have one more note on the opening.
Okay.
So he fails the training mission, and because it's not a cold open, it just cuts to the next scene where M is watching the training mission. But like any great Bond film, it's the same footage we just saw.
Yep.
So I wanted M to say, "Quiet, 007, I'm watching Never Say Never Again."
It would be funny if like cut to him watching it and you still hear the theme music playing on the TV.
Or like a minute later, now on the TV is like they're already in that scene now. So you see M and Bond, but then on the TV you see M and Bond in the scene, like in a scene from a minute earlier.
It's like Spaceballs when they look at the
Yes.
the camera.
We're
from,
in now.
they'll all look
When
back
will
and
then
forth.
be now? Soon. Now skip this. Go right past this. In fact, never play this again. To go back to Shrublands, I have my next note to quote the great Trent Reznor. There's fucking nobody in this movie. Like, there's no extras in establishing shots. Like the grounds at Shrublands should be full of people like getting exercise. You know?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few like in the lobby, I think, right?
It's just and in MI6 is empty.
Oh,
Empty as can be.
I hate MI6 in this movie.
It's
Like,
so
it doesn't
dead.
it does not feel like it.
M
It
has
feels
no
like-
office. Do you notice that? Or his office just doesn't have a door. It's just
Yeah.
a room. It's
Yeah,
open
it's-
to other rooms.
Yeah, that's a little odd. Yeah, Money's Penny's office felt weird. It just
Money Penny felt weird.
oh jeez.
Money Penny in general felt weird.
Yeah, it just it didn't hit. It didn't feel like your classic Bond, unfortunately. But
This
they
Money
tried.
Penny is not attracted to James, and James just is like treating her like, oh, it's Money Penny's been here for 10 years, but she's 30 years younger than me, and she's just a sweetheart. Isn't
Yeah.
she just a sweetheart?
Yeah, like they couldn't like get like an older person to be like, oh, it's been established like Money Penny. I don't know.
It's
Or
some
is
interesting
it-
choices.
Or like a Nurse Joy situation where like everybody like
You just
like
you-
that's Money Penny's daughter, but also named her Money Penny.
That's her last
They're-
name.
They're all Money Penny. Oh, that's true. His last name is Money Penny. That's right. So who
Her
knows?
first name is Money. Her last name is Penny. But it's
Money Penny.
Munny. It's short for Monroe. But Monroe's not a girl's name anymore, so she goes by Money. My mother always called me Money. Or wait, she's related to Eddie Money, and her name is Penelope.
Ooh.
Penny Money. And she's like, that doesn't work.
Let's flip it around, see how it works.
Okay, at Shrublands, is the doctor that's inspecting him? I like to think that it's the same doctor as Clive Revel from A Fine Madness. That's like, let's lobotomize him. It's the same doctor. He's just moved on, and that's why Bond is so hesitant. Shrublands. Oh, not this guy who thinks I'm a monkey or something.
Not again. Oh my God.
Talking about the sadomasochistic beating, I've got the note that so she gives Patachi. So Patachi has had an eye surgery to have his retina be an exact double of
Which
the
is
president's.
way better than a stupid like surgery thing with the face swapping. So much better, in my opinion. Because there's just too much going on with that. It's like we need to switch this guy. Like I like the idea of like he has to get on the plane to like deliver the bombs. Like the delivering the bombs is stupid in this movie. Like they just flew back.
Well, here's I think how you circumvent the whole thing. You do a combination of these two. Rather than have an exact double, plastic surgery double. Don't do that, and you don't do the eye surgery because the eye surgery it's cooler. When you think about it, you're like, oh, it's more practical. Rather you just do the surgery on the eye rather than the whole face. That makes sense.
And you like access the whatever, like it's the president's eye. Like that's
But-
kind of cool.
How the fuck do you duplicate an eye to such detail when a computer is registering the detail in the eye? You know what I mean? Like, how did they couldn't have done that surgery-wise, especially in 1983. I don't know. Maybe I'm making an assumption. Maybe they can do. Maybe they just held the president down and fucking popped his eye out. We don't see what happened. But
yeah, like what movie did they do that? I'm trying to think. Mission Impossible, isn't there? Mission Impossible, like they get a contact that like looks like someone else's eye.
yeah, that's a little more
something
feasible
like
because it's
that.
like 2012 or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, but it's a Bond movie. I mean, like, look at all the technology they used, like the facial recognition in which which one they do the glasses. It's not a nose cute, it's a banana, whatever.
Oh, for your eyes only.
Like that
And it
technology.
takes them 6 hours.
Like that technology shouldn't like really exist. You know?
Here's the way you circumvent the whole thing. So in Never Say Never Again, they keep him addicted to heroin, and that's what just do that. Just do that. Just keep him on heroin and make him do what you want him to do. No surgery. Just he has access to this stuff. You've kept him on heroin. Simple as that. Do this, we get you more heroin. Simple as that. Well, I can go get heroin somewhere else. Sure you can, but you're going to lose your job because they're going to find you getting heroin. Ooh. You know what I mean? We are a specter. We are everywhere. We will find you a way to get heroin without anyone noticing. And the purest, cleanest shit, too. Like, you want to go try and get it on your own without us? Have fun. You're going to get contaminated stuff, and you're going to get caught by the military. Good luck. So he's like, I guess I have no other choice. Yeah, I'll do it for you. There you go. No surgery. What do you think, folks? I think that's how it would be done today.
Sure, yeah.
Just keep him on heroin.
That'd be dope, yeah. Maybe one day we'll get a heroin-induced Bond movie.
We talked on the last episode about the remake of Thunderball, right? Of Never Say Never Again.
Yeah.
Tenet. Christopher Nolan's Thunderball remake.
I still gotta see that.
It's a good movie. I like it. People give a shit. I will say it's one of Nolan's worst films, but by no means is that a bad film. His worst film is like the best day fishing is, or the worst day fishing is better than the best day working kind of thing. You know what I mean? All right, what else you got, bud?
Let's see. All right, we got.
Oh! I'm sorry. I brought up the eye transplant, and then we got into that. But so Fatima gives him shit for smoking cigarettes. Said they're dirty and they're going to contaminate your eye. That makes sense. I get it. You probably shouldn't smoke after a major surgery, especially an eye surgery. But then she grabs his head and slams it against the wall a bunch of times. His head containing his eyes. She beats the shit out of him.
That shows how nuts she is, man. Oh my God.
I feel like after a fresh eye surgery, that thing would have popped out.
It's like the guy from Pirates of the Caribbean who like always drops his eye.
Exactly.
So help us get that back, you know.
Okay, so that's the end of my note.
All right. I wonder if I was just like high when I saw this, but for some reason I thought that the nurse that takes care of Bond looked a little bit like Elvira without the gimmick makeup. A little bit.
She did.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yes, and actually I realized that I have some screenshots here.
And all in all, I feel the nurse situation was a little more tame in this movie than in Thunderball. A little less forceful.
Okay, while I agree with you that it's not as bad of a situation in this movie as it is in Thunderball, I still don't think she's entirely down for it. I'm going to punch in this clip where he's feeding her foie gras, which I believe is duck liver when you force feed a duck till it dies. It's really inhumane and cruel and I believe illegal now.
Really?
Yes. And take a look at this clip, folks. Look at her face. You tell me if you think that's a woman that's enjoying Sean Connery coming on to her. Anyway, so sorry, let's continue. I apologize about that.
My last bit in the hospital situation here, I get to talk wrestling a little bit today. We have our first sort of henchman encounter with
Pat Roach.
Pat Roach, English wrestler from back in the day, tremendous worker. A lot of cool stuff, but also not his first movie. We've seen him in many movies, including 2 Indiana Jones flicks.
Yes.
Do you know which character he played?
He is the Nazi that is shredded up in
The bald one.
by the propeller in Raiders, and he is the giant thuggy on the conveyor belt in Temple of Doom.
Yeah, he has like the turban and
Yes.
like all that. So I thought that was kind of cool.
On the conveyor belt that like continuously, like every edit, it's like India's moving in the same exact spot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah, also see Pat Roach in this. He's just the classic henchman. He's built to be a henchman, and I really enjoyed the sort of like fun like fight through the whole thing. I actually had a note of like when they're in the hallway and you see all the like old people watching TV. I like to think it was maybe like an old wrestling match they were showing, but like when they punches him and they all cheer, he does that
It's
kind
a
of
boxing
classic,
match.
and he does
Yeah.
that classic kind of like that was like kind of his pose
His boxing pose.
when he kind of walked up.
That's
and,
a
like,
nice little
it was,
moment.
It was like a kind of a fun like it's kind of like how you see like like Dave Bautista when he was in Spectre.
Yeah.
And seeing him do some almost wrestling moves, seeing go back to You Only Live Twice, The Rock's grandfather fighting Connery and that. So a lot of wrestlers fighting Sean Connery, which is really cool. And I mean, those are the best guys to hire for this type of stuff. I think that's why Dave Bautista is one of the best like action heroes of our day right now, because one, he's a very good actor. I think he's a great actor. I love him in Glass Onion. I love him in everything he's done in the last couple of years. But also, he can do a lot of his own stunts. He's jumped off of high ladders and everything else, landing on people, taking punches, taking hits. It's always awesome to see it. Even back then, hiring these awesome wrestlers to do some fight choreography in these great spy flicks, and it's a fun little thing. And I love the end of him, for some reason, getting burnt in the eyes by Connery's nuclear piss.
Nuclear piss.
It's like burns his face.
And I
in it.
love that even Connery looks at it and he's kind of disappointed.
He's like, oh.
Really? But ultimately, it's the being stabbed in the back by a bunch of glass beakers that kills him, which I do like that. I have a few
sick.
notes on that part. The janitor didn't need to die. Oh, wait, he didn't. Because at first I thought he kills the janitor, but then he doesn't.
No.
Okay, so Connery has no spotter as he lifts. Again, where is everybody? That's a lot of weight that he's got on there, right? Where is his spotter? And that's my last note on Shrublands.
All right. Yeah. So, all in all, if you're talking about the comparison, there's a few like interesting things there. It's just like I feel like Connery going out to investigate everything is a little more well done in this, because he actually sees that something's going on across the other side of the building, and he sees the what's his name getting strangled and beat the fuck up by what's her name. So he has more of like a initiative to go out and do it instead of like a hunch, and he kind of just goes out.
Who's that? A man at the window. And she looks out, and there's like 9 people out there. Because like, yeah, we all heard a dude getting beaten up. Is everything okay?
That was kind of fun, the whole night vision thing.
Yeah, that's nice.
him,
I'm sorry. On that, I want to run a little montage of screenshots that I took of, because they can't do a gun barrel in this movie, they get Connery inside a circle as much as they can in this movie, in that night vision shot. So...
yeah, they do little homages here and there, which I appreciated. They could do
little interesting creative ways that they try. There's one during the video game sequence that is directly like a camera shutter.
Yeah, that's right.
So
yeah.
it looks like the gun barrel because it's got those circular lines. What else you got, bud?
Let's see. So out of the out of there, So we get Connery going back out on his mission, and we get the introduction of Rowan Atkinson. Finally, as sort of the annoying
Small Fawcett. Nigel Small Fawcett?
Yeah, just a complete pest, bothering Connery, and let's
Nigel
see.
Small Fawcett, Foreign Office representative in the Bahamas.
Yeah, so fun that we're still in the Bahamas. Yeah, reminded me a little bit of a mixture of a little bit of Die Another Day, like when Bond goes. He's not in Jamaica.
Cuba.
He's in Cuba. It reminded me of that a little bit, especially with the bar that she water skis up. It kind of lands conveniently in front of her.
wet. Yes, but my martini is still
I love that line. So many. There's a lot of good one-liners in this movie.
I wrote
A lot
that.
of
Dry
good
martini, best line in the movie.
It is. I think that's tremendous.
How reckless of me. I made you all wet.
Yes, but my martini's still dry. My name's James.
Hello, James. I'm Fatima Blush.
Oh, and then actually, I've got 2 worst scenes and 2 best lines.
Okay. Let's see. I for some reason, I didn't write much down here. It looks like I must have been very engaged in the film because my next note is later on when he goes scuba diving for the first time and gets fished up by that girl he meets on the dock earlier with Rowan Atkinson and said, "I told you to catch me later." And after that, when they come back, we get to see Connery in overalls. I think that was hilarious.
Yes, I have that Bond in overalls heart.
There's a couple of fun outfit funnies. There's one that happens later on with Felix that we'll talk about afterwards.
Yeah, that one didn't work so much for me.
I thought it was funny.
Upon rewatching,
I thought it was so funny.
Again, there's a lot of stuff that worked for me the first time I saw this movie that don't work for me now. It's like a candy that only tastes good the first 2 times you eat it, and then afterwards it's just less redeeming qualities.
What do you think of this Felix?
Bernie Casey, he's okay.
I thought it was fun.
I think every single one of his lines is 80 yard.
Perhaps, yeah.
Felix, the character, sucks in this movie, but Bernie's okay.
Yeah, it's like take him or leave him. If we're ranking Felix's, he's probably pretty low.
I think he just beats out the Felix and Goldfinger, who does nothing.
Yeah, he does a lot. Well, I mean that Felix is in a lot. He's watching over Bond the whole time in Goldfinger. He's just kind of like, in case something goes down, he's there for him. So, I just for some reason I just like him just because that opening scene in Goldfinger, just like I quote all the time.
I like Bernie Casey as Felix. He's okay. Okay, I've got missiles flying, heart. I like that effect and shot, and those sequences of shots. That looks good for 1983. It looks really good.
Yeah, sure.
The missiles flying. However, they are emitting a most unpleasant pitch towards the end of their flight. Largo's crew seems pretty happy with their job. He walks in, says good morning, and everyone's happy.
Good
to
benefits, yeah.
work for him, yeah.
Well, I will say, in speaking of the missiles flying over, if you're gonna show kids on a beach with their puppy, at least have them react to what's happening on the sky.
Right.
Like these giant missiles flew maybe 20 to 30 feet above your
they don't
head,
even turn.
and they're just still fucking around with their sandcastle. Like, at least have them react, or don't put that shot in the movie. It's like it's showing now, like, oh yeah, they're really going through like these.
They're going so fast the kids didn't even notice.
Like, but no, they're huge and just weird.
And close.
Like it reminded me of, I don't know. It just I want to like superimpose like some like TIE fighters and like pod racers next to them. It reminded me of episode 1 a little bit. That was really funny.
Anything else as of this junction, or shall we continue?
No, I don't got notes until we see the motorcycle.
Oh, wow. Oh, well, let's keep going with the wiki then.
All right.
Blush works for Spectre. Fatima Blush works for Spectre, a criminal organization run by Ernst Stavro Blofeld. Her charge is heroin-addicted U.S. Air Force pilot Jack Patacci, who has undergone an operation on his right eye to make it match the retinal pattern of the U.S. president, which he uses to circumvent security at RAF Station Swadley, an American military base in England. While doing so, he replaces the dummy warheads of the two AGM-86B cruise missiles, forgive me, I'm reading this at a distance, with live W-80 nuclear warheads. Spectre then steals the warheads, intending to extort billions of dollars from NATO governments. Blush murders Patachi by causing his car to crash and explode, covering Spectre's tracks. We got anything else in this section that we want to...
I don't know. We kind of covered a little bit of the car wreck and the snake and the insanity of it. It's a little too much.
Foreign Secretary Lord Ambrose orders a reluctant M to reactivate the 00 section, and Bond is tasked with tracking down the missing weapons. Bond follows a lead to the Bahamas and finds Domino Patachi, Jack's sister, and her wealthy lover Maximilian Largo, who is Spectre's top agent. Now, in this movie, in Thunderball, he suspects to go to the Bahamas. He's being sent to Canada, and he suspects the Bahamas because of the picture.
Yeah.
There is nothing in this movie to say go to the Bahamas. Did you notice that?
Yeah, he just kind of...
Or am I missing something?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I think they just kind of tell him to go down there. I remember them like assigning him to go there. Yeah, because we get the whole thing in Q's lab where it's like, where are you going? It's like the Bahamas. Oh, you lucky fool or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's the only kind of mention of it. It's like, oh, shucks, you got to go to the Bahamas.
Yeah, no reason why that's the place he should be.
Yeah, so Thunderball does that better, I
Yeah.
think, for sure, with the picture of him having the hunch, because that's like a smart move.
And he
Like, let's
brings
go
it
to
to
Canada.
M.
Yeah,
And
he's
M
like,
trusts
he's
him.
like, don't send me to Canada, send me here, trust me. And like, he's like, oh, okay, we'll see what happens. And then,
And by having this new M, he even says, like, my illustrious predecessor. He doesn't have time for Bond. He doesn't like him, really. So even if... And when Bond says, like, maybe he had an eye transplant, it's like, do come along, Bond.
yeah, oh, that's ridiculous.
Something more practical, perhaps.
Yeah.
What do you think of Edward Fox as M?
I didn't like him.
Who we've seen in A Bridge Too Far, by the way.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. As an, yeah, I mean, but Bernard Lee is the one that like paved the way for that character, and Judi Dench was tremendous as well, and I even love the fact they even brought her back for the Craig films, then to get replaced by the great Ray Fiennes,
Who is... The M in this movie is very similar to Ray Fiennes. It's like I really don't care for the double
a bit,
O's.
but Ray Fiennes is way more like just at attention and more serious. Where this one's like, oh, dear you,
Do
Bond.
come along.
It's like it
I'm
just,
watching Never Say Never Again.
It's like they went with the most like cogny people ever, just between Q and M. It's just like, this is not MI6. This is like a fucking joke.
Well, if you want to talk about Q, what do you think about Q?
I think he's funny, but like, I don't know. Q is another character where it's, Desmond Llewellyn also paved the way for that character where he has to be like annoyed with Bond and like, don't touch that and all that.
This Q
This one's more like fucking with him. Like
He's his friend. Yeah.
The first thing we see him, like Bond is practicing
Plays a
with
prank on him.
targets, and he just hits him with the fucking
Exploding pen.
and he looks at the gun too. He's like,
That's a good scene. I love the Q scene in this movie. I love Q. Who plays him in this film? It is Alex McCowan as Algernon Q. I really, really like him. I think I like him more than Desmond Llewellyn. I think I like his Q more than Desmond. I love Desmond Llewellyn. You can't replace that man. But I really want to see more adventures of this Bond and this Q. Who cares and is kind of jealous about Bond's exciting adventures.
Good to see you, Mr. Bond. Things have been awfully dull round here. I hope we're going to have some gratuitous sex and violence.
I certainly hope so, too.
I do like, what is this? And it's like, so you take this part here and you stick it up your nose. And it's a little allergy thing.
Yeah.
And like that was fun. But like, yeah, I feel like, that's what I appreciate about this film too. We still got the gadgets. We still got the the vehicle that
A toy motorcycle.
all that.
Ship
so,
it out to you if I can get it working.
yeah, so we get all the sort of aspects of Bond that we come to love and enjoy, which I appreciated. But yeah, I thought he's an okay Q. I just think it's like
Okay, Cupid.
okay Cupid. Yeah, he's an okay Cupid.
Wait, is that
But-
something? Okay, Cupid.
That's a dating site.
Okay, thought so.
Yeah.
Like, why is that ringing a bell?
You open up many fucking memories. I don't even know if it's still a thing. All the kids now are on Bumble or whatever. No, fucking no.
Tinned talk.
Tim's. But yeah, I think he's a fine Q. I mean, we don't have a ton of Qs to compare with.
Shall we rank the Qs?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, Desmond Llewellyn's gonna be number one. I love John Cleese just because I love John Cleese. And then I think after that, I would do the one from the Craig films and this Q.
Ben Whishaw, Alex McGowan last.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Desmond Llewellyn because he's Desmond Llewellyn.
He's the
Then I'm gonna
Q.
go Alex McGowan. Then I'm gonna go Ben Whishaw. Then I'm gonna go John Cleese.
Oh, John Cleese at the bottom. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's not any dislike for John Cleese, really.
Yeah, because he doesn't have the voice for it.
Yeah,
like-
he's a good Q.
Oh, he's a great.
There's no
Q.
bad Qs.
Yeah, all Qs are great.
Except for Boothroyd from Doctor No, who doesn't really. He's good too.
Oh, yeah.
He just comes in and he gives Bond the gun. That's it.
Boothroyd. That guy's crazy.
The
But yeah,
armorer.
but yeah, I
The
totally
armorer
agree.
in the armory.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Shall we continue?
Yeah, continue on.
All right. When Largo's yacht heads for Nice, France, Bond goes there and joins forces with his French contact Nicole and his CIA counterpart Felix Leiter. I'm going to stop here for a second. Mario, as you know, my partner is a woman named Nicole.
Yes.
We've had her on this podcast for the From Russia with Love episode. Another James Bond. Nicole Gauthier was on that episode. You know how happy it makes me to have clean... Because granted, the woman in The Next Man, her name is Nicole. But our copy of that is garbage. It's not great. The audio is not great. You know how happy it makes me to have clean audio of Sean Connery saying, Nicole? Anyway.
I should send it to her every morning.
Yep.
Nicole. She was cool. I liked her. Another Thunderball comparison between those two agents.
And Paula.
Yeah,
Nicole
Paula.
and Paula.
Yeah.
Paula's way cooler than Nicole.
Yeah, I think Paula's way cool.
Not you, honey. You're awesome. Nicole from this movie.
Yeah, Paula's way more badass, and Nicole's kind of like, I mean, she's got a little bit of coolness, but it's like, I don't know. She's like,
he was her sister. He was her brother. Like it's got a very weird delivery because it's all 80 yard.
yeah, she's like French and all that. It's kind of like, why did they make her French? I don't know.
Because they're in France.
It's,
That's contact though.
are they in France? Oh, they're in France.
I
Shit.
just said that Nietzsche, France.
Fuck, you're right.
But
Right.
but yeah, it's she's kind of a nothing character
Yeah, like she adds nothing to
except to die.
all of it. Yeah,
You know?
I mean, which also so did Paula. Paula did die as well, but that was a little more.
I feel like Paula is like given a little more. Not really. I bet if we compare directly screen time to screen time, I bet it's the same.
Yeah, probably.
It's a little more badass if Paula goes out on her own.
I like.
She kills herself with the cyanide in her tooth.
Yeah, and I like the Thunderball, because Thunderball shows more of like a friendship, not friendship, but like I like that scene of them making contact with Domino for the first
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
and they're making like pretend the boat is not working and all that. And it's like, oh yeah, whatever. And so I like that better. That
Nothing like
establishes
that
more
from
of a
Nicole.
relationship, and not Nicole's kind of like just there.
She drives the car.
Yeah,
And they both sit in the back.
yeah, they're like, oh, drive, woman. Like, let's say put their suitcases on the front seat. I don't know. Yeah. Hey, you're with your buddy Felix. Of course, we want to hang out in the back and like fuck around, like link
him a hand job.
link your Game Boys together and play Pokemon together or something like that. That's what they were doing back there.
Can I trade my Machoke to you to become a Machamp? Of course, Bond, only if I can trade my Kadabra to become an Alakazam.
Oh, but of course.
Do we have to trade back afterwards? I kind of want that Alakazam. Psychic does beat fighting after all. All right, let's continue. Bond goes to a health and beauty center posing as an employee. He gives a massage to Domino, who reveals that Largo is hosting an event at a casino that evening. At the charity event, Largo and Bond play a video game called Domination. The losing player of each turn receives electric shocks of increasing intensity in proportion to the amount wagered. After losing a few games, Bond wins, and while dancing with Domino, he informs her that Jack had been killed on Largo's orders. Returning to his villa, Bond finds Nicole killed by Blush. After a chase on his Q Branch motorbike, Bond finds himself in an ambush and is captured by Blush. She admits to being impressed with him and forces Bond to declare in writing that she is his #1 sexual partner. Bond distracts her with promises, then uses his Q Branch fountain pen gun to kill Blush with an explosive dart.
Hell yeah.
I really was disappointed that in the Bahamas we didn't see the same crazy dancing man from Dr. No. I know that's not the same place, but... Okay, the music is sexy and menacing at the same time, and it doesn't work. The shark scene is good, but it's dumb. Like, there's some tense moments in there, but it's really dumb. And it's really sad that they did that to those sharks.
It reminds me of Little Mermaid. Like, when he was in the ship. Like,
Yeah.
There's a scene when...
Or Finding Nemo.
Yeah, but, like, there's a scene when, like, Ariel's in the ship and, like, running away from sharks. And, like, there's a scene when he closed the door. Like, that happens in Little Mermaid. So, like, that was kind of funny. It's like, I want to shoot this like Little Mermaid. But I thought it was more... I like this better, I think. I mean, the swimming pool, the Largo swimming pool was pretty intense as well, but, you know, yeah, I like the idea of, like, you know, the sunken ship or whatever and, like, trying to navigate through that. So, I mean, they're totally different eras of movie, you know what I mean? So, like, I think they both are
I don't like the
well.
shark tracker thing.
Oh yeah, that was weird. Yeah, that was stupid. Yeah,
Not great.
Yeah, I was like, just chase him to chase him. But I like the idea of, like, him look out the window and, like, it's a bunch of sharks out there. They're just kind of like, come on out, Bond.
I just had a thought. So it starts with the dry martini line, and he's like, I'm fishing, and she's like, I can show you the best spots. They take a boat out, and it's like, the boat ride is going to be so long, we got time to have a lot of sex.
Mm-hmm.
Then, which means she's, you know, bringing him out to the middle of nowhere where these sharks are. But the scene ends with him being picked up by the same woman from the beginning of the scene. So how far out did that woman go? Like, what are the like spatial logistics of the scene?
Yeah, well, she mentioned she was gonna go out and, like, do a lot of, like, crazy, like, she was packing for a trip, for sure. So it was a fun thing because, like, you had to have that callback of, like, you know, oh,
it is a funny button.
I told you you'd catch me later, you
Yeah.
know. And then you get the one-liner later of, like,
Your room or mine.
yeah, with his room blowing up, which
Yeah.
was that was kind of fun because it's
Mr.
like
Bond?
they give you the sort of tenseness of it, of, like, you see that there's a bomb under a bed and there's shoes there, so you're like, oh, maybe that's the one they're fucking on. But then
Yeah.
it turns out, boom, that's happening across
It's pretty well
building.
shot and edited.
Yeah, I
Perfect.
think it's really, really good. It's not like it's not misleading or you can't, like, see it coming. I mean, we see it coming. We've seen the movie before, but, like,
It's well done. If you've never seen it before, it's a good surprise.
yeah, it's a great surprise. But I mean, you know, Bond's not gonna blow up, but you never know.
It would be tense if he did.
Well, he did one. He did actually in the last movie.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Same way too. Same exact way. But that's where the sexy / menacing music is.
Yeah.
I love Bond in overalls. That's great. We'll get into this in the sexy rating, but my next note is just, it's the hairpiece. I think the biggest problem with Connery in this, looks-wise, is the hairpiece. It's just not doing him any favors.
I was saying while watching this, I understand you wanted to make him look like James Bond, but I think it would have been way cooler if you just let him go all natural and had the beard and, like, the bald hair. Like, we've seen him in so many movies where he looks like $1 million like that, you know? And, like, have him truly look like an aging 00.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been more appealing because to me, he looks like he just looks so weird.
There's a shot at the end of him swimming and he doesn't have a hairpiece on.
Is that really?
Yeah.
I have to look
I
back
noticed
at
that
that.
today.
But yeah, it's just like, you know, the clean shaven, like his face looks odd. It would have looked cool. It would be cool to see Bond with a beard and, like, you know, just make him look more grizzled, and like that's the thing. He's going back into effective duty and all that, but like they just really tried hard to make him look like how he did in Diamonds Are Forever, and that doesn't work for me because
Not at all.
like I thought he looked good in the casino scene, which we'll talk about in
Yes.
a bit. Like it looked great seeing him in the classic tux. He looks like $1 million. But yeah, I think it would have been very effective to see him just look good. Look at him in The Rock. Like we talked about that
He
being
looks
like
so much better in The Rock than he does in this movie.
yeah, and we talked about that being like
13 years
the
later.
actual maybe last Bond film because of the speculation of that. But like,
Speculation.
look how he looks in that, and why didn't you just do that for this movie? To this one, he just looks so bad. And like going to the beauty center.
Oh,
of
yeah.
that-
Okay.
that-
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about this scene. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say that sort of Roger Moore-esque thing of like all the girls like breaking their necks to look at him,
Yeah.
which and Roger Moore at this time is Bond right now. So like, yeah, what movie's out at this point? Octopussy. So
Same year.
man, weird to see, and like I think Moore looked better, but not by much, but yeah, just showing that just took me out of it too. I'm like, this feels like a Roger Moore movie where it's like he's all these girls like, oh, like he's like in sweats and stuff, and he's
It's
like
not a great
he
look.
looks like Tim Allen in the Santa Claus when he comes downstairs. He has the boxes and he shaved
Yeah.
his face. Like he just doesn't look. It doesn't look sexy
It's
in that
not
outfit.
a good look at all.
Like he looks okay with his shirt off. Like his body looked okay for his age.
Yes,
But-
I agree with that.
But like, yeah, it just his face and his hair look so weird, and like again, he's shooting this as he's being
He
the
looks
Green
better
Knight.
as the Green Knight.
At the same time, and he has a beard in that, and he looks so good.
He looks very handsome as the Green Knight.
Like I thought you were lying when you said that originally, because I'm like, no way. These movies are like years apart from each other. Nope, same week he was shooting this, so it's weird, man. He's one of those guys where it's like at that age, you just give him the beard, let him look the way he should look, and then go. Like I understand, like the Bond image is clean shaven, slicked hair, tuxedo, but just make it different sometimes, you know. Even Batman had a beard one time in a comic book. You know what I mean? Just do something different.
So before the massage scene, Bond and Felix are looking through a telescope and they see Domino dancing on a yacht. On the yacht, excuse me. And at 59:37, punch this in, Dylan. Connery gives a weird little moan.
But get some scuba gear. We'll check her out.
Right.
It's uncomfortable. Which leads us into the most uncomfortable scene in the whole movie, the massage scene. This is not how a massage works at all. At all. This is sexual assault. That's what this is. Just like in Thunderball. That is deception. At first, it's deception. And from that comes lack of consent because you're deceiving her. And because she didn't give you consent to touch her, that's assault. And this is just super uncomfortable. I hate this scene so much. But then, that's the most offensive thing, obviously. But then the truly, truly, truly offensive part of all of it is she's going, oh, it feels so good. But what he's doing is not massage and wouldn't feel good. He's like lightly tickling her back. He's like just kind of just pushing his hands
Well,
down
he was
on her.
kind of like
Yeah, but that...
steady motions, pushing the poop out.
And then he grabs her arms and
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
flails them and then
I'm
puts them back.
I'm gonna request that Nicole does massages. I'm gonna say, like, Nicole, can you please wackily flail my arms for me? I'm sure that's
Wacky waving
gonna...
inflatable arm flailing two-man. Exactly. I
yeah,
showed her
it's-
this scene, and she was incredibly uncomfortable,
was like, "What is
but
this?"
also laughed at the
Give me-
ridiculousness of
It's
the.
like, can you give me the Never Say Never Again massage, please?
Can you give me the domino?
Even the domino.
And on top of that, Bond is 12. Bond's a 12-year-old. She's like, oh, it feels so good. He's like, certainly does. Certainly does need it. You're very tense. And he's like pushing his dick against her hand.
I really wanted it because my mind went to Austin Powers in Austin Powers 2 when he's massaging.
How does that feel,
Yeah, it's like
baby?
lower. How does that feel, baby? That's what I really wanted. But yeah,
That's a
it's
better massage scene than this.
Yeah, but yeah. So another comparison. So I think the mink massage in Thunderball is way better than this really awkward old man massage. It's weird.
It's a very weird, awkward scene. Yeah,
And she's into it. Like, she leaves it. Like, the woman comes in. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's like,
he
wait.
doesn't work here. And yeah, her reaction is like, oh, that lovable scamp.
It's like, oh yes.
It's so uncomfortable.
Like, if that happened in, like, real time, like, that the cops would have been at the casino to take that man out of there. Like,
The spa.
This is the no at the casino, because afterward they talk again, and he's like, and he goes hard or soft. It's like, hard. Here's the cops. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ, because he just takes off and like he's gone. So
Also, on the way into the spa, forgot about this. She's walking across the street. Let's play the clip, Dylan. She's walking across the street, and she looks at a tree and clearly sees Sean Connery behind the tree and passes the tree, and then Connery comes from behind the tree like, oh, nice, sneaky. And then it's played like he was there the whole time.
you should have been doing the Diamonds Are Forever fake makeout.
Yeah. He should have been on the other side of the tree. We should have seen him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was.
And she shouldn't have seen him.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
Yeah, very weird. Fake bomb is the best part of the movie. That's my favorite part of the movie is the fake bomb scene.
This bomb has a tiny gyroscope inside. Any lateral movement on your part, and you could be served in an egg cup. If you understand what's being explained to you, nod gently. Good boy. Stay.
Yeah, and I love when he grabs at the end, like, thanks, and he like passes out. He's like,
Thank you very much.
The feint itself is a little too, because he goes cross-eyed.
yeah, it's a little too goofy. A little too goofy.
If
but-
it would have just been a pass out, that would have been the perfect button. But it's still like one of the best gags in the movie.
Oh yeah.
Really clever spy work too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, there's no tunes at this shitty casino.
It's like going to Twin River at like 2 a.m.
And there's I think Largo really likes the video game Centipede. Really likes it. He plays it so much. He's got tons of cabinets of Centipede. He loves that game. He plays it so much people are always calling him the Human Centipede. At 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 49 seconds, we see a man that looks very much like Timothy Dalton looking at Kim Basinger. See?
Oh yeah, the weird eyebrows.
He's got the same Timothy Dalton kind of haircut from Living Daylights. Or maybe License to Kill, probably a little closer. Okay, should we talk about the video game scene?
The most insane thing ever. I'm not even sure what game it's based off of. Like,
It makes no sense.
It's like you have to hit these, take over sections of a country. It's kind of like, there's a game called Splatoon. Splatoon, where it's like you have these little characters with like different colored ink guns.
Oh, yes.
And if you have to cover the most space on a floor and you win. So that's what it's kind of reminding me of. I'm like watching it. I'm like, I remember the video game, but I don't remember how it was played.
But if you could block somebody else's paint, kind of, it seems like it's that.
Yeah, you were able to do that in the game. You could like hit them and stuff. But yeah, it was like the whole thing with the shield was like interesting, and like it's. I think if it was like a little more well thought out, would have been better.
It's an interesting concept.
Yeah, and like the whole and the shock thing is ridiculous.
The table aspect is weird too. That's a big giant wooden table.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, just and seeing their faces in the middle, it's just a little weird.
And
but
the
like,
most unrealistic part of the whole thing is that Bond picks up the video game in 45 seconds. Like,
it
takes anybody a little bit longer to pick up a video game.
Because you have like that screen in front of them. That's what you're supposed to be looking at. That's like where you're aiming. And
but then you got the screen in the middle.
Largo's looking at it, and like Bond is looking up here, and like
still wins somehow.
Yeah, like and like it makes no sense, but. It's
danger
like,
level.
It's like just have him play poker. Like just have him do poker. Like it's just like an '80s thing where it's like let's be cool and have James Bond play a video game. Like it doesn't make any sense for the movie.
Except to get one little gun barrel shot.
Yeah, and to get him like in a torturous like situation with Largo, but then like is able to get out and then we get to, he says, I'll take a dance. And like he's like, yeah, I just got shocked twice.
Right, I got a note on that.
Let's dance.
A dance. He's turning down $267,000 for a dance with Domino. I'll take $265,000 and a dance with Domino.
I mean, Bond has always been rich, right? Like it's not assumed that he's rich.
No, in the books, he operates under the mentality, the very real mentality, that he could be dead he might not make it to the next hour if he's on a job. So he just spends money. He makes it, he spends it.
Crazy.
And any money he makes at a casino, he views as just nothing money. So he that can go out as quickly as it came in. So he's not very rich, no.
Okay.
And in the books, you see his salary, and even adjusted for inflation, it's not much.
Crazy.
He makes government worker salary, but enough that he can have a housekeeper.
Damn.
So.
Okay.
Then my next note is Fatima push, because it's just like 6 different shots of her going, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me.
Now one guy's looking over, like, excuse me. Oh shit.
It just cuts back to the video game, cuts back to her, excuse me, back to the video game, back to her, excuse me. Then, you lost it first. So, Largo sucks because all right, let's begin the game. Bond loses it, and then Largo goes, oh, maybe I didn't explain this part to you. It's like, you didn't explain any of it.
Like, you just told me to play the game, and then we're
here. Yeah, he explains a little bit of it, then Bond loses again, and oh, maybe I didn't explain enough. Like, maybe give him the whole fucking user manual before you... Give him the PS2 user manual before you start the game. You've played it, but he hasn't slept over your house yet, so he's got to read the user manual. And you and Stepdad Dan have played it, but he hasn't played it yet. So give him a chance. No, I don't want to give him a chance to play it. I'm going to beat him every time. I don't know what voice that was. I can't do a Largo. Maybe I will beat him every time. I will not let him read the user manual ever. In fact, it didn't come with a user manual. Yeah, didn't come with one. How do you expect me to learn how to play it? Intuition. I guess you are just not as good as I am. Me and Stepdad Dan are very good at this game. You see? Let me... get my giant checkbook. And he pulls his checkbook out, but it just keeps getting longer. It's like the Joker's gun from '89 Batman. You noticed that, right? You didn't notice how giant the checkbook was? And he just pulls it out like it didn't even exist.
Oh, yeah. It's massive.
He returns from the casino, and it is daylight, which means he was at that casino all night. Or like it's the crack of dawn. He finds Nicole floating in a waterbed that looks like it's a pool table for some reason.
Yeah, that's why I was confused about that. I thought it was a pool table, too.
But because it's a waterbed, it's literally a pool table.
Yeah, it's a pool table.
I love that house.
Beautiful house.
That is a beautiful house with all its angular stairways. I like, that he comes in and he looks at the bowl of fruit, and he, for a second, he's going to take the grapes, but he doesn't, because in Thunderball he took the grapes and he takes an apple and he tosses it and catches it behind him. I like that little moment.
Oh, yeah,
I like
that's
the
fun.
moment where he senses danger and he puts it down on the statue of Shiva.
Yeah,
Cool moments.
That was really cool. Yeah.
The girl in Philly line is the best line in the movie.
You know that making love to Fatima was the greatest pleasure of your life?
Well, to be perfectly honest, there was this girl in Philadelphia.
After the dry martini line, of course. The hairpiece looks good wet, and then I immediately wrote, never mind. And then this, I'm sorry, I keep just doing notes, but I think we're about at, forgot a note here. When the bombs are being loaded, the voice says, have a nice day. I love when things happen like that. I'm not nuts about the underwear escape. When he and Felix in their underwear.
No?
You said you liked that. I'm sorry.
I thought it was funny. And we get to see Connery on a bike again.
Yeah.
I love that. Bicycle Connery. No, that's just kind of funny. And it, like him just like singing something. I don't even know what he was singing.
Yeah,
it was
just
kind of fun.
some
And Felix is
nonsense.
shadow boxing
Yeah.
behind him. Like it just kind of like, it was kind of funny. I thought it was a funny little gag of him. Like, you know, how's he going to get out of this one? Because you see Bond always getting out of things very slick. And this is like funny. It's just funny to see him like, like, where'd he get that bike? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought it was fun. It was a little goofy.
I liked it the first time I saw it, but this watch through, it didn't do anything for me. It really kind of like, just kind of took me out of it. I don't know.
Really?
It, or just was like, just a nothing.
Yeah.
Like you just yawned. That was my reaction to it. All right, let's continue with the wiki.
All right, hit it.
I'm sorry that we're taking so long here. Bond and Leiter attempt to board Largo's yacht, the Flying Saucer, in search of the missing nuclear warheads. Bond finds Domino and attempts to make Largo jealous by kissing her in front of a one-way mirror. Enraged, Largo traps Bond and takes him and Domino to Palmyra, Largo's base of operations in North Africa. Largo punishes Domino for her betrayal by selling her to passing Arabs. Bond escapes from his prison and rescues her. Domino and Bond reunite with Leiter on a U.S. Navy submarine. After the first warhead is found and defused in Washington, D.C., they track Largo to the Tears of Allah, a location below a desert oasis on the Ethiopian coast. Bond and Leiter infiltrate the underground facility, and a gun battle erupts between Leiter's team and Largo's men in the temple. In the confusion, Largo makes a getaway with the second warhead. Bond catches him and fights him underwater. Just as Largo tries to use a spear gun to shoot Bond, Largo is shot with a spear gun by Domino, taking revenge for Jack's death. Bond then defuses the nuclear bomb underwater, saving the world. Bond retires from duty and returns to the Bahamas with Domino, vowing never again to be a secret agent, although Domino doubts his sincerity.
Never say never.
Never say never again. Never say never again. I love the little mashup you made of that in Nutty Professor.
It just works. I don't know why. It just works perfectly.
It works really well.
But yeah, before getting into the last sort of act, we didn't really talk about the motorbike scene. Yeah. It's our only like real like
chase.
Yeah, chase. It gave me No Time to Die vibe.
Yes.
You could cut it with like Craig Bond is on the other side of town with his chase, and then Connery's doing this one on this side. So it kind of matches nicely. And you never really get to see Bond on the motorcycle that often. Especially,
you could cut like 5 minutes from it, though.
Yeah, there's a few other things
maybe
that are
not
weird.
minutes, but like the scene where he gets trapped in the back of the truck just to get out of it.
Yeah,
that.
Well, I thought it was kind of because it's like he's chasing, but then he's being chased. Like
Yeah.
it was kind of weird, but it was just cool to see him just doing crazy bullshit on that bike. It was really awesome.
The slide under the truck is nice.
Oh, it's really cool. Yeah, which they did that in a that was a mechanic in Everything or Nothing, which Pierce Brosnan is on a bike and you could like slide under trucks and stuff. And I was like, that reminds me of that every time, which is really awesome. But yeah, I kind of enjoyed that little chase. It's kind of fun. And, you know, it's very easy to do because you don't need to, like, just have a guy in a tuxedo and a helmet. You don't have to really show Connery's face. It's a little convincing. So thought that was fun.
What else we got? The wall keyboards. What do you think of wall keyboards in Largo's two-way mirror office, one-way mirror office?
It looks fun. to like hit buttons, but I can't see myself typing.
There's no
stuff out.
practicality to it.
Yeah, it's like if he said like we're hitting a couple numbers, beep boop boop beep, like that's fine. But if you're like, I guess send an email out real quick, my wrist would be dead right now.
Yeah.
Like it's
Who
weird.
designed that?
I don't know.
I got the hiccups.
I think it's like that point of like, how can we make, something look cooler, I guess. Let's try 80s, they're always trying something cool and like making things look like more like not futuristic, but just like, I don't know, different. It's interesting.
It's an attempt at futuristic for sure.
Yeah.
But it fails.
Yeah, because it's like
in the future we discovered ergonomics.
Yeah, he's got that special room, and every time the music goes on, he hears the music in the dance studio, and like all the sliding like windows and stuff, and two-way mirrors and stuff.
Great room trashing with the axe.
Oh man, yeah, that was a cool scene. That was like you get to see Largo go off, because that's the thing, you don't see other Largo go off that hard.
I would torture you with a cigarette and ice cubes.
Yeah,
scientifically applied.
But yeah, what'd you think of that whole like exchange with Domino and Bond, like in the dance studio? And it's like, we're gonna like we're gonna get the shit done, and like he puts the music on loud so they can talk because he knows Largo's listening in.
Well, besides the dance studio, real quick, I want to go back because the dance exposition scene is the worst scene in the movie.
The tango?
Yep. That's the worst scene in the movie.
Really?
Keep dancing. Why? You just revealed huge trauma to her. Why not take your $267,000 and just ask if you can talk to her for a minute? You should have told her that while you're sitting in the fucking bar. You know, and then it ends terribly because Largo just yanks her out of it, and the music stops, and everyone just has to watch.
Yeah, it's a little
weird.
weird.
Largo's like, "Why don't you come over for lunch tomorrow?"
Yeah, so I think the beach in Thunderball was a little better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The fact that they're friendly to each other initially. Yeah. I dislike that Bond sneaks aboard the boat just to be welcomed aboard anyway as he climbs through a pipe.
Yeah, it's like Largo. Yeah, there's always that like weird thing with it happens in other Bond movies too, I feel, where he just kind of gets sucked in and they're like, "Oh, we've been expecting you, come on in." And
I feel like this is the worst example of it though.
Yeah, it's the weirdest because like poor Felix is like stuck out there and he has to swim back, and he's like on the beach like, fuck. Like I wanted to go have lunch on Largo's boat. It's like,
oh shit, they're going to North Africa. Well, good thing I'm not stuck on there now. Got some agency of my own. I won't have to jump off.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Because now Bond's stuck on there.
Yeah.
Poor Kim Basinger in this movie. She's being really mistreated in this film.
Yeah.
She's being grabbed by the throat by a gross dude with his belly button sticking out. Umbrella Man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, they got the umbrella.
Yeah, my note there is poor Kim Basinger, and then my immediate next note is poor horse.
That horse took the biggest bump ever. But they showed that he's fine. He's in the water. But that's scary, man.
I think they really tossed it into the water.
It had to be, right? Which I'm like, I think they wouldn't, because you have that really like goofy cut of like them like, whoa,
yeah,
them like, oh, and like going off the thing. So I'm thinking, oh, maybe it's fake. I'm like, oh no, that's a real.
Well,
horse.
The shot of them falling looks like it's two figures and a horse figure, but then when they hit the water itself, it's a different shot, and the horses look real. The horse looks real, excuse me. And
maybe
the
horse,
people look real.
The horse is trained to dive in the water. I don't know. I mean, horses can swim, so I really like.
But jumping?
It's like, I don't think it was that high of a jump.
I wonder if that horse was put down the next day.
I don't want to think about that.
Oh,
but
Jesus Christ.
But
I hope not. But either way, poor thing was clearly abused.
Yeah, it was really shocking to like see that. I forgot that was a scene. I was like, oh my god.
I didn't look in the credits for the no animals were harmed in this making of this film. I didn't see that, but I wasn't looking for it.
We gotta look. Did the horse die? .com. I know it was a dog die website, but yeah, that was like, it was very, very, very goofy. And why are they like? Their clothes disappear
Yeah.
They just-
Yeah, Connery's shirtless after that.
Like all of a sudden, like he just stripped to his undies again. Like
No, he's got pants on.
Does he have
There's
pants
no
on?
shirt.
His pants. Like why does he take his shirt off? You can't swim with a shirt on.
And there's no. It's an instant cut too, so it's like there's no time to have removed.
Yeah,
the
like,
shirt
how quick
unless
were
while
you?
you were falling.
Whoa! Just taking.
Hold on, gravity. I'm still working here.
The horse is looking. Like, ooh.
The horse is taking its shirt off.
It's like a Wile E. Coyote cartoon. Like they're drinking tea while they're falling. It's like
Kim
this
Basinger's
goofy-
reading a book. Taking a nap.
Yeah, so I enjoy that sort of scene because actually reminded me. I didn't see the movie, but I saw a clip of the new Planet of the Apes where that girl gets saved on the horse, and it's sort of the same sequence
Yeah.
where they're in the field,
Yeah.
and he grabs her, and they jump and they escape, and that kind of reminded me of Planet of the Apes a little bit in this scene here.
So spoilers, Nicole and I saw that last night. In the time that we're filming this, probably not in the time that we release this. Really good movie.
Yeah, I want to see
As
it.
I said, it's probably the worst of the Planet of the Apes films that have come out since 2011. But that doesn't mean by any stretch that it's a bad movie. I thought it was still an 8 out of 10. And
Wow.
that's the worst one out of them all.
Okay.
You know? Like,
I got to see it.
it was still really good. Really, really good.
Hell yeah.
Powerful stuff.
Hell yeah.
Though not as good as 2 and 3.
I've heard 2 is very
2,
good.
have you seen any of the new Planet of the Apes?
Yeah, I saw 2 a while ago.
Yeah. Dawn.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Yeah, yeah, that's tremendous. 'Cause I was never like an OG fan, but the new ones are tremendous.
Nicole and I watched the new trilogy, and then I went back and rewatched the originals, all 5 of them, and the first one's good, the second one's not good, third one's great, fourth one's not great, fifth one's bad. Anyway,
Well, that's our
my Planet of
plan.
the Apes retrospective.
Let's go.
The XT-7Bs, what do you think of those? The jetpacks. What do you think of this this
the-
movie's jetpacks versus Thunderball's
A
jetpack?
little. I mean, this kind of. It was fun. I
Flying
guess.
platforms.
Like,
they
yeah,
seem
they-
more practical.
They look like there's enemies. You ever played any Metal Gear Solid games?
No,
Metal Gear 3.
I've only
is-
played Metal Gear Soft.
Metal Gear Soft.
Soft or hard?
Soft or hard. Solid or hard.
Solid state hard drive.
But in Metal Gear 3, if you play any of them, play Metal Gear 3 because it really is like a 60s Bond movie. They even make reference to like, because it's in the 60s and like there's at one point like the colonel who like contacts you. It's like, have you ever seen the movie From Russia with Love? And like they reference From Russia with Love, which is really fun. But there are these enemies on there with those same kind of jetpack things where they're like on platforms, they chase after you. So that's what reminded me of that. I thought it was kind of fun, but I would have preferred to see like regular jetpacks. To see Connery in a jetpack again.
I thought it was cooler than the jetpack in Thunderball, but less practical.
How do you land that thing? How do you pilot that thing?
The controls.
Like
There's less chance in those things of you setting your legs on fire.
yeah, but there's more chance of you fucking falling. I feel. I don't know. The balance seems weird. It doesn't
Well,
seem.
they're being held by cranes. Clearly, because
I know, but like in the movie like realm,
Yeah, they're not.
it's not a very proportioned vehicle.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it just kind of like weird. It's just weirdly proportioned to me. But I mean, I think they're
phallic.
okay. Like that. Like again, it's them trying to be kind of cool and futuristic in the 80s. You know what I mean? Because what year again?
83.
83. All right, this is before Back to the Future. So I don't know. I think they're okay.
Okay, so while we've got this pulled up, I'm gonna go through some of these screenshots.
So badly, I want him to.
To pee from a distance.
Yeah, just to see the pee at the wall.
But look at her reaction. It's like, ooh, he can pee so far. That's what I find sexy in a man.
That's so weird.
Okay, now I brought this up earlier. Look at her face as she reacts to these things. Tell me that's not the look of a woman who is look like that one specifically. Look at that. She's not enjoying that.
I think that's the joke. It's that she's not into it.
That's where Connery makes a weird noise. That's where he hides behind the tree. Okay. And he goes to the spy. Do you serve men here? And she gets out a big fork and knife. Yes, we do. Shink, shink, shink.
I want to cut it with the bartender at the cantina, New Hope. It's like, we don't serve your kind here. You got to wait outside.
No, Nicole. So I got Connery saying Nicole. Another gun barrel.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
I really like this moment where he leaves the gun in the champagne bucket.
Harry Potter champagne.
Yes,
bucket.
Harry Potter champagne.
HP.
Another gun barrel. I really like this shot.
That would have been a great poster shot.
Yeah. That's
Put the title on the left.
Yeah, that's a nicely composed shot. The photo that gets knocked down is the photo from another time, another place. Wall keyboards.
That's me at my computer every night.
With your wall keyboards.
Yeah. Look at my wall keyboard.
Umbrella Man and his belly button.
Oh yeah, this guy is disgusting. He reminds me of. I like to believe he's like one of like Salah's cousins from Indiana Jones.
Salah's gross cousin.
Yeah, he's a gross cousin.
We do not talk about it.
Yeah, we've not seen him in a long time, Indy.
Stepdad Dan. Now she's got to go. They got to go to the island that looks like a big dick.
Oh yeah,
or a little dick.
Dick Island.
A dick with a really hairy head.
Crooked Dick Island.
And then another.
That shit's dope, though.
I do like that.
That's dope.
And I think that's all. Oh, he's doing his jazzercise workout.
Oh, look at his legs.
And that's it. That's all I got for those screenshots.
Hell yeah.
The helicopter well dive is pretty funny when he dives from the helicopter into the well. He just kind of flails, and it's pretty funny. Whee! He looks like a frog being thrown. Okay, and my last note about the film is Domino's tiger bathing suit. What do you think of Domino's tiger face bathing suit?
Is there a face on it?
Yes, watch this. It's
a
tiger face.
It is a tiger face.
A giant tiger face.
It looks like any. That's the bikini like Jack Black would wear. You know, like Jack Black always wears those really crazy T-shirts.
See, look at that, the tiger face.
I for some reason I've never noticed a tiger face till right this second.
Yeah.
That's insane.
This is my final note on the film itself, but then I have a note I found while doing research that Klaus Maria Brandauer, who plays Largo, was originally cast as Marco Romius in The Hunt for Red October, the role that would later go on to Sean Connery.
Oh.
Yeah. And then he would later be in. We've seen him and Connery act before in The Russia House.
That's right.
Forgot to mention that. I really like The Russia House. I mean, it wasn't great, but I think if I rewatched it, I think
it's one of those we might put on a commentary list for the patrons because that's one I would like to see again. There's a lot I want to see again, but you know, and eventually when we get to the end of this run of Connery films, we'll like look at a kind of retrospective of everything and what we loved and what we would go back to. But that's one I would go back to for sure.
I have one final note.
Yep.
No post-credit scene. Jip. Jip.
Really wanted to see what was going to happen next with Felix.
We don't even get a James Bond will return because legally they don't know if they're gonna.
It's over. It's over. Yeah, my last two notes were this the last sequence. I like it better in Thunderball because like the way I talked about last week was like it's like an Avengers like Endgame.
Oh, being pulled up by the plane is the coolest ending you could have.
Oh, in the him escaping at the end. I love that with the theme song playing. I love that. But the whole last fight sequence of everything is great in Thunderball. This one has its moments. I wasn't really crazy about. I talked about the set of the sort of where the temple is and all that. It just looks like an Indiana Jones set. And when I say that, it's not like it looks like an Indiana Jones movie. It just looks like they're hanging out at the set of an Indiana Jones
I agree.
movie.
Yes.
The lighting is really weird. I understand they put like floodlights down there so you can see where they're going, but it looks so cheesy and fake. And like I feel like if you just did some like darker lighting, or less lighting, like an Indiana Jones movie, it would have looked a little cooler, I think. But like I mean, it's still a decent set. I like with the water, like they have to escape down there through the sort of statue or whatever. But yeah, I was kind of like I was really turned off by that set. Was not crazy about it.
If I may interject for a second, what may turn you on about the Indiana Jones set is that while Temple of Doom was filming at the same time as this movie, Irvin Kershner and Barbara Streisand showed up to the Temple of Doom set on the day that Harrison Ford was tied to a rock and being whipped. Well, Barbara Streisand stepped in a dominatrix outfit and started whipping him.
Oh, shit. Hell yeah.
Apparently there's video of this online.
We gotta find it.
It's like super low quality. But that was like Irvin Kershner was like, I'm gonna go play a prank on Harrison. Babs, come on.
Hilarious. My final note was probably my favorite Largo quote: "Sweet like money."
Yes. That
like
one bothered me for some reason.
It was a weird "sweet like money." Like,
It's
really,
like he breaks character in that
Yeah,
moment.
it's
Like
really
he loses
weird.
his accent.
Yeah, it's like a little odd. So that's my favorite quote there.
The tears of Allah. Sweet like money.
Then I slit your throat.
So yeah, then after that, the whole ending really quick. Boom, pool, funny little bit with Mr. Bean.
It is a cute ending.
Yeah, wink, 007, credits. Like
I do like it's cute, but it's not nearly as cool. It's not nearly as cool as getting pulled up by a plane.
Yeah, it's like
That's so cool.
The classic. I love the classic, escapes at the end of the movies. So those are always the best. But yeah, the Thunderball one, we're ranking it like Bond endings. There's so many of them. Like even the Roger Moore era of
what the original ending of this was supposed to be?
What's that?
That he and Kim Basinger were going to be walking down the street and they crossed paths with Roger Moore.
Really?
Really. Connery and Roger Moore were friends.
Ooh,
but legally they couldn't do it.
Oh, man, that would have been cool.
Wouldn't it be funny if we did that, Sean? Yes, it would be. I don't think we can do it because of the lawyers, though.
I think Doctor Strange portal opens up and Roger Moore comes out. That would
Doctor Strange portal? Or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Portal?
But yeah, so all in all, fun ending still for the last sort of the literal wink. This whole movie, that wink at the end really says the whole movie. We just kind of did it for fun. It's like, hey, what if Connor did one more for fun, And that's what this whole movie really felt like. And we'll talk about the actual feelings in our ratings coming up. Yeah. But yeah, you have anything else to add?
Well, you said this movie feels like a bit of fun. Thunderball feels like a movie made for the sake of making a movie. Never Say Never Again feels like a movie made for the sake of spite. I've got the rights to it. I'm going to make it now. Like, well, you're not really a great filmmaker. Doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of the style and grace and charm of Thunderball is lost in this movie. It's got charms for sure, but none of the charms in this movie match the charms of Thunderball.
Absolutely,
I don't think.
Yeah, just the vibes are different in that one. Just with the sort of, we see more of the culture of the Bahamas in Thunderball, where we see the dancing and we see the festivals and all that. We see more culture there, where, like you mentioned earlier, everything feels very empty in this, and you're just kind of run through sets, and there's no life to it. Very much.
Where is everybody?
He's showing up at casinos and fucking
a drabby looking casino too.
Yeah, massage parlors and shit. So it's like, that's the whole thing of Thunderball. Like it almost feels like a vacation movie. You know what I mean? It's like if I'm at if I'm like in Florida or something, and I was to pick a Bond movie to put in the background, Thunderball. Because I'm like, this feels like a beachy vibe, and I'm like,
I want to go on the Thunderball vacation, not the Never Say Never Again vacation.
Yes, that's the best
booking a
way.
cruise package.
That's the best way to put it. Yeah, because I think like the real life 007 beach is in Jamaica.
Ooh, I want to take it.
Bahamas, but it's like a nice little beach area. It's called 007 Beach, and it's beautiful, like a little touristy area nowadays. But yeah, I'd rather do the Thunderball package than the Never Say Never Again package, where you're not doing as much fun stuff. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that. How about you?
I think that might lead us into our next section.
Oh, man, you guys already know after we have a discussion about the film, we go into the full score of everything. We score, of course, the film and Connery himself. We also score of the SHs, the sexy rating, and, of course, what's the last one? The score of the movies, the music score.
Yeah, we got the SH, the sexy, the score, the film, the shot. Those are our 5 ratings. But before we do that, take a Connor P.
Let's take a Connor P.
Connor P.
Right back.
My martini's all wet. What? Wait, no. You got me all wet, but I peed my pants. What? All right, Connor P time.
Connor P. It's Connor P. And we're back, folks, from our Connor P, and we're back with the ratings for Never Say Never Again. Our final time rating a Bond movie on this show. This is
our 007th time rating a Bond movie.
This is a 7 Bond. Yeah, wow.
Dr. No, From Russia with Love, Goldfinger, Thunderball, You Only Live Twice, Diamonds, Never Say Never Again.
Son of a bitch. Meant to be 007th time and the final time we're doing a Bond movie. So, of course, we're going through the rankings here. We're going to start off with the SH. I want to start with you, Dylan. What do you think
Mario,
here?
I'm going to come right out and say it's an 8.5.
Mm-hmm.
It is pretty damn thick.
I think I'm going to stick with the 8.5 as well.
Yeah?
This is old Connery. This is old 80s Connery, and it's even in the My Name is Bond, James Bond. Even there,
My Name is Bond,
it's thick.
James Bond, which also I'm not nuts about that delivery either.
Not a good delivery at all, but it's better than the one he did in
Diamonds.
My
Yes,
Name is Bond, James Bond.
Yes, I agree with that.
My name is Bond. James Bond.
My name is Bond, James Bond.
This one just sounds kind of sad, but he's apologizing for being a
Yeah, and it's like one of those things where it's like, I hate it when Roger Moore did this all the time, where he just said, "My name is Bond, James Bond," just to say it.
Yeah.
When you need the proper setup, and your name is Bond.
Well, the proper setup is
like
Mr.
Mr. Bond, James Bond.
Yeah.
So that makes more sense. But
Mr. question mark?
if you just kind of come out and say, like, "My name is Bond, James Bond," it was like, okay. Anyways, like, you wouldn't come up and be like, "My name is Titus, Dylan Titus." Like, no, if someone set me up and said your name is Mr. Lima, Mario Lima, I'd absolutely do it.
Well,
but I'm not going to do it just to fucking do it.
No Time to Die did the most realistic setup.
That was
of
the
because
best one.
I was at the doctor this morning, like, appointment Titus, Dylan Titus. I'm sorry. Like, I wasn't doing it on purpose.
But the way he did it No Time to Die was brilliant because it's like,
Bond.
The first one he did, the first movie, the theme song is "You Know My Name," and in this last movie,
They don't know
nobody
his name.
fucking knows who he is. He's like a fucking old guy, and he's like, Bond. And it's like,
The guy's like,
yeah, it's like,
okay, we got like 6 Bonds that work here.
James Bond. It's like, okay, and then give the visitor badge. So, yeah, that's probably one of my favorite Bonds in Bond history, for sure. But yes, SH here. I spit up a little bit. 8.5. That was my SH was a 10 today. But yeah, we get 8.5s all around for the SH here. Love to see it.
Sexy rating. Oh, I'm gonna let you go first on this one, Mario.
So this one, yeah. So we there is some sexiness again with the very dangerous What's her name again? Fatima Bush.
Blush.
Bush.
Fatima Push.
Fatima
Excuse
Push.
me. Excuse me.
Sexy and dangerous. She's a really good henchwoman. I don't know why I said that like that. Very good henchwoman.
Henchwoman.
Tremendous. Very good.
I like how you said henchwoman.
Henchwoman. But yeah, she's like really cool, and I think all the women here are beautiful. Even like the ones we see for even the girl fishing, she was pretty. You know what I mean? Like so, I think there's some sexiness there, but it's not as sexy as Thunderball.
No.
And like Bond. Connery looks okay. We'll rate Connery after, but like he's not as sexy as Bond. Man, he looks gross. He looks like a melted version of Sean Connery. So I think for that, I think it's got some sex appeal to it, but not the best. I think I'll hit it with a 5. Nice 5.
Okay. You want to guess what mine is?
Yours is usually if mine is like around 5 or 6, usually go lower. So I'm guessing yours is going to be a 2.
1.
Oh, 1. Okay.
I don't find this film sexy at all.
Not even the women don't say
I
it
think,
for you?
Yeah. Barbara Carrera as Fatima Blush is gorgeous, and Kim Basinger is very beautiful.
But nothing sexy.
Nope.
Oh,
no.
okay.
Connery looks good with his shirt off.
We were talking about. Did you like that fun, like the sex scene with Blush and Bond,
and rolling around in the ship?
Is that really weird? Like her stretching out.
Yeah, like he's
getting pulled in,
holding her down.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know.
Holding her as she like.
I was like, I've never done that sex movie before, but I do like.
You've never done that one before?
No.
Oh.
Well, maybe you can show me later. But I do like the ship kind of going sideways, and they kind of slide down.
Yeah,
and it gets that great cut of them diving.
Yes, that was a good cut.
When I first saw, I thought they just fell in the water while having sex. You know, what I mean,
this is not a secure boat at all.
Yeah, it's like damn, this is wide open.
That's a nice transition for sure.
But yeah, I thought that was fun, and that was kind of sexy. And you get to see Connery's tattoo on his forearm. Which is
Nicole
fun.
was like, "He's got a tattoo." I'm like, "Yeah, he never covers."
That's
it.
always a fun thing we look out for is his tattoo because
It's on the other arm too.
It's on this one. That's
that
right.
one,
Yeah. So it's fun to see his tattoo sometimes. But yeah. But I understand. your viewpoint here. So
it's just not very sexy, and I think the massage scene and the selling of Domino, those scenes really hurt the film in terms of sexiness. Like the the woman that pulls him up fishing when they're making out in the bed and Bond's on the phone, she is like attacking his face like a ravenous bird, and I hate it. So it's not a very sexy film for me. 1 on the sexiness scale. Barbara Carrera is gorgeous. Kim Basinger is gorgeous. I will say Kim Basinger looks better 6 years later in Batman.
Yes.
I don't like her hair in this movie. It's that crispy, gross blonde. You know what I'm talking about? She's got Marjorie Taylor Greene hair in this movie.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's where it's gross. Oh, I bet that feels like old pubes.
Gross.
But in Batman, she looks amazing, and her hair looks amazing.
Yeah. Salt water. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe it was. Maybe it's all the salt water she's swimming around in.
Yeah.
It makes her hair look thin and crispy, and I don't like it.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, to be a 12-year-old Bond, you even see Kim Basinger's nips in this movie.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
Geez.
Nothing.
Just okay.
It's not very sexy. She's sexy. The film's just not sexy.
I agree. I agree with you. Okay.
So yeah. All right, on to our next rating: musical score.
We had huge discussions about this before the podcast. Just
how a different score changes the feel of a movie.
My
entirely.
God, if you had a John Barry-esque score for this movie,
or David Arnold,
or David Arnold, yeah.
I think check out that link below, folks.
That would bring the movie. So much of what a Bond movie is the music. And that's what really carries each film, in my opinion. I like they did have the sort of score of Never Say Never Again in the movie, which is a classic Bond thing to do. I appreciated that. Some of the music was fine. but just not my cup of tea. So I mean, I think it's not terrible, but it's not the best. There's scenes that needed music, man. It was dead quiet. So I'm gonna get
Like the casino scene.
like the casino.
Check out the link below.
Casino for sure. So I'm just gonna give it a solid 6.5.
6.5.
Yeah, it's fine.
Being far more generous than I, sir. I'm going to give it a 2.5.
Gracious, you're burying this movie.
Yeah, I really don't like the music in this movie. I like the opening theme. It's recorded poorly. Like, it sounds like it's literally recorded on old warbly tape. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can hear the pitch warbling in the intro.
I like the tango. I think the tango songs, and I love how they bring it back with the stereo at the end.
Yeah.
Margot like leaves it playing while the people come to like buy Domino. But
I think I would have
like that.
bumped it up another. I would have brought it up to a 4 if it had the Phyllis Hyman song.
Oh, okay.
As the opening instead of the.
Yeah. We'll link that below too, so you guys can hear what that one is.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
It's an interesting version.
But also, I really love your cut of that and Nutty Professor, because that song does work for like a 90s female workout scene.
Oh, yes. Exactly.
And make you never say never again. Never, never say never again. Never say never again. Never say never again. Never say never again. You got all the moves.
2.5 for me.
All right.
For the music. All right, which brings us to film rating?
Oh, the
Sean
film.
rating. Which one are we doing first?
Oh, film. We'll do film first.
Okay. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay, Mario. I was excited to rewatch this one for some reason. As I said years ago, when I was getting back into the Bond, as I said years ago when I was getting back into the Bond films, Never Say Never Again was one of the ones I wanted to watch, and I really liked it. Even though I knew that it wasn't like a real Bond film. This time, Mario, did I tell you that this film took me 3 days to watch?
Took you 3 days? Really?
Yeah.
Really?
This film was a chore.
Really?
Really. Like, I took time to stop watching the movie to edit that casino sequence with new music. You know, because I was just... This film was a chore, dude. This film was an absolute chore to watch. And for that reason, I'm going to give it a 2.75.
Jeez.
2.75 for me.
Gracious. A big 2.75. Wow, okay.
Yeah, I didn't... This might be the last time I watch Never Say Never Again. I might never watch Never Say Never Again.
Never say never.
Again.
You might see it.
If I do it, it's only going to be to re-edit some of these scenes to be more palatable. The way I did with that casino sequence.
Okay. Well, I'm on the opposite side of the viewing.
10.
No, that's not 10. But like the opposite side of like I had no problem watching it. I actually was like more like I was more invested in this because of what Thunderball did, and I'm like curious to see if what worked better, what didn't work. I think certain things made more sense in this movie. Certain things were done a little odd. But although I don't think it's terrible, I don't think it's that bad. I think it's again, it's not a traditional Bond movie, and you gotta look at it like that. You'd be like, this is not a Bond movie. This might have James Bond in it, but it's not a Bond movie.
Yeah.
But like, just enjoy
Spy
it for what
Man.
it is, and it's like, it's a celebration of the man that we're doing this podcast about, and like again, it was just a fun little last. Hurrah. I'm like, this is not his last time playing Bond if you count From Russia with Love that came out on PS2. The game, that was a fun little thing, and then you can count The Rock if you want to. But, I just thought it was like a fun, just for fun. Let's just do one more Bond and just have a little bit of fun with it. And it didn't take itself seriously, really. And yeah, I think it's fine, but no way close to what Thunderball was.
No.
So I think I'm gonna be a little more generous with this. And I'm going to give it a 6.
Okay. I can dig it. Let's see what we gave Thunderball. You gave Never Say Never Again a 6. And I gave it a 2.75. You gave Thunderball an 8.5, and I gave it an 8.5.
Oh,
Damn,
yes.
Thunderball.
We love those Thunderballs.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think I'll be revisiting Never Say Never Again unless it's to do some re-edits to things, to just tighten things up, you know?
I'm sure I'll watch it again just for fun. It's like one of those movies you gotta like every once in a while, every 10 to 15 years, check it out. If we live that long.
I found Kim Basinger so uncompelling. She's fine, but I just found her so...
Oh, yeah. Thunderball Domino's way better.
Yes.
Way better.
Barbara Carrera's great. Fiona Volpe's better. You know, yeah, everything in this movie, Thunderball just does it a little bit better.
It's a Wish.com version.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Where it's like just like from M to Q. I know you liked Q.
I liked Q. I like Q in this movie better than Q in Thunderball, to be honest.
Oh, I love him with he has his Hawaiian shirt in Thunderball.
I like that this Q is jealous that Bond's going to the Bahamas because his office is cold.
It's like, oh, yeah.
They keep it bloody freezing down here.
Oh, yeah. Like, why can't Q go on an adventure? Yeah, Desmond Llewellyn got to go to the beach. He has his cabana hat and everything.
Which is why I like this Q more, because he doesn't get to, and I feel bad for him. I want him to.
Poor Q.
I want this guy to go have a good adventure. And he wants to, too, because he's Bond's friend.
Yeah, he's his buddy.
Desmond Llewellyn looks like, Jesus Christ, I'm out here. I'd rather be in my lab. You know? Where Q's like, I built awesome stuff, but get me out of here.
All right.
Sorry. All right. Sorry.
Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, 6 for me, 2.75 for Dylan here. So this means this is the big one. This is the big one.
Oh, my God. In Wrong is Right, we both gave him 10s.
Oh, we love the Wrong is Right's tremendous. But in this, not so much. It's hard to give Connery a 10 anywhere, but like it's let's talk here. A fine attempt. It seemed like he was having fun.
No,
you don't think so?
It seemed like he was showing up for work. Every day he showed up for work, and he put his best foot forward for that because he's producing this film. But it doesn't look like he's having fun. Not to me.
I think I'm sure he liked putting the tuxedo on one last time. I'm sure he had a little fun with it, and like just to be able to do it one more time again. And I don't know. I think it was okay. Yeah, some lines are a little weird. It's a little uncomfortable, but he's still showing up. And I think for that, I think I'm just gonna give him like a solid 007. The last 007 he did. I'm going to give him the 7.
Okay. Well, damn, you're kind of compelling me. I'll raise it up a half point. I'm going to give him a 5.5.
What'd you give him in diamonds? I'm curious.
7.5.
Oh, you love
him. I like him better
in
in diamonds than I like him in this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not nuts about him in this.
Yeah.
It's this what I said though. Is he's like showing up for work and he's putting in a good effort, and that's commendable. But that doesn't translate to a compelling performance.
Just the fact that he's coming up, he's dressing up like a freaking Jolly Green Giant, and then coming into work, it's put on a tuxedo. That's
look what I gave him in Sword of the Valiant, 8.75. I love that.
Well, that's deserved. That movie's tremendous.
This movie really feels like work for him in a not great way. You know.
Okay.
But that's me.
Yeah.
He's okay. He's definitely one of the best parts of this movie. But it still doesn't seem like he's having a great time. Like line deliveries like "My name's Bond, James Bond." You know,
yeah.
Kind of sad. Well, the tango sequence.
I thought he killed it. The tango sequence.
Oh, he danced very well, but.
That's a little odd, but
I don't care for it. You know, it's and because Connery was a producer on this film, you got to wonder how many of these ideas were his, because they were going back and forth. They had to stick specifically to what was in the book. They couldn't use anything from only the film series. They had to use, if it was in the film series, it had to have also been in the Thunderball book, and it was just like constant going back and forth to court and legal battles about this movie. So I'm sure Connery was like, well, why don't we just do this and just avoid everything? You know what I mean? If we do this, then we don't have to worry about the lawyers at all. You know what I mean? Like, so you can be commended for some of that work, but then like it should have been his call to go, I'm not going to massage a woman without her consent.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
So,
But all right, man, that's all our ratings
Let's
for
go back through our
Never
averages
Say
here.
Never Again.
our average SH is an 8.5. It's pretty thick. Our average sexy rating is a 3. We don't find that film all that sexy. Our average musical score is a 4.5. It could use a different score. Our average film rating is a 4.38. That's an interesting score.
Really, yeah.
And our average Sean rating is a 6.25.
Okay.
For a total Sean rating of 53.25.
All right.
It's an okay film.
It's okay.
It's just above halfway. Just above the halfway mark. We liked Goal more. But Goal also had a kick-ass score by Rick Wakeman.
And we like this more than 5 Days, One Summer.
Well, yeah, that's to be expected.
All right, man. So we got through it, and we get to do something I feel like we haven't done in weeks because we missed it because of our little double feature here. But double feature is over. We're going over to wheelofnames.com to spin the Wheel of Curiosities to find out what movie we're covering next week. Again, this list is getting smaller and smaller, and I'm terrified. I'm terrified. Again, no more Bond films to look forward to, but still some good classics here to look forward to. Dylan, what are you hoping for this week?
I could totally go for Highlander 2 because we get Sean Murphy back.
Yeah.
I could totally go for The Hunt for Red October because I love that movie. I could totally go for Time Bandits because the guest we have on that is, if that guest is down for it still, it's going to guarantee to be a good time. I mean, as is Sean Murphy. As is the guest we have for Hunt for Red October. Any film we have a guest on, I hope for. But those are the 3 I really want: Highlander 2, Hunt for Red October, and Time Bandits. What I don't want, I'm okay with Lilacs in the Spring, but we're gonna have to cover it eventually. The very first film where he's an uncredited extra, we're gonna have to cover that eventually.
Oh yeah.
Not really in the mood for it right now, but if we get it, we get it. And I don't want the Red Tent. The Red Tent is really good, but it's really depressing, and I don't know if I'm in the mood for it right now.
Okay.
How about you?
I think I'm there with Red October and Marnie. I kind of want to see Marnie because it's young Connery, Bond era kind of
It's Hitchcock.
Connery. Yeah, so I think I'm in the mood for that because I always when we look at his IMDb, if you let it play for a while, it'll play trailers from his other movies. And I see a trailer for that, and I'm always like, oh, I keep forgetting that thing exists. I always think it's a Bond movie right away. You know?
Yeah.
So I think I'm really ready for that, and of course Red October because I do like Red October.
Great movie.
And I would like to see the Anderson tapes as well.
I really like the Anderson tapes. That's a good movie.
Never seen it.
It's fun. Another Sidney Lumet one.
So yeah, that'd be nice to see. I think the only ones I don't want to see. I don't really have a one I don't want. Like maybe not like. I don't know. I have none that I don't want to see.
I'm also excited for Entrapment.
Entrapment, okay.
I've heard nothing but good things about Entrapment.
I'll say Robin Hood. I'm not in the mood for Robin Hood right now.
Okay.
Well, okay.
Get him as King Arthur again, I think, right?
I think so, maybe. I'm not sure. But
okay, Mario, what was that?
We'll see.
Oh.
But
well, Mario, I think it might be your turn to spin the wheel.
Finally my turn.
Your turn. Your first time in the Proving Ground. Because the first time it was
you,
and we landed on Thunderball.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've never spun since.
So this will be our second spin in the studio.
All right. Well,
so
I'm honored.
I'm gonna hand that to you. You want to shuffle? You want me to shuffle?
You shuffle it first.
Okay.
I always fuck up with that mouse.
I'm gonna shuffle. You tell me when.
And go stop.
Alrighty.
I like that. Okay.
There you go, bud.
Do that very gently.
Probably just navigate on your knee there.
All right.
All right, Mario. I think that it's about time. How about you?
I think it's about time that we... I want to click his face. Come on, you.
Maybe do it on the table.
Oh, wait, no, I got it. Yes.
There we go. All right.
Well, with that being said, guys, it's been a great episode. We're ready for the next one. So,
oh boy,
if you'll indulge us, it's time to spin the wheel of curiosity.
The name of the rose. Awesome.
Very good.
I believe we have a guest lined up for that one.
Oh.
I won't say who yet, just in case.
Okay.
Just in case they decide they don't want to do it, but the name of the rose.
All right.
This is Sean Connery and a young Christian Slater.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun. Well, guys.
Playing Gregorian monks, I think, or something like that.
Ooh, okay.
Something along those lines.
I'm ready for it. But guys.
What year is it? I'm sorry. The name of the road. How far are we from what we just did? Oh my God! Look at that.
Oh, it's right after sort of.
Yeah, we're filling in the blanks here.
Let's go.
The name of the rose, William of Baskerville.
I'm ready. Ooh, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun.
1986 is the name of the rose.
All right. Well, guys, you heard it here first. Next week, Sean Connery will return in the name of the rose. And the name of the podcast is Connery Curious. We will return next week as well. Until then, I've been Mario Lima.
And I've been Dylan Titus. And as always, folks,
be sure to stay curious.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
Connery Curious.
You've been listening to Connery Curious, a Titus Compositions and Friggin' Nerds Media podcast. Follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Connery Curious for updates, memes, and episode clips. You can also visit Dylan on Instagram at Titus Compositions to hear other podcasts and original music, watch music videos, or even pick up a great vinyl record. For more discussion about your favorite films, comics, and games, and a network for all things nerdy, visit me, Mario, at Friggin' Nerds Media. You can rate, review, and share the podcast in-app, which helps us grow the show and reach other curious Connerys out there. Thanks for spending time with us. Have a great day, and remember, stay curious.